Good evening and welcome to Gungahlin Enclosed Oval for Hahn Australia Cup qualifying action. It's the quarterfinal stage here in Canberra, brought to you by our Australia Cup sponsors, Allstate Towing. Broken down or been in an accident, give Allstate Towing a call, your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj proudly supporting the Capital Football Australia Cup qualifying rounds. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Kitro Excavations for all your excavation and earth-moving needs. Rhythm Snowsports, ignite the stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker for your local real estate needs. Contact Lukas at LJ Hooker. And Xela Constructions, commercial builders proudly supporting grassroots football. My name's Russ Gibbs. Joining me in commentary is Steve Forshaw. Steve, our Australia Cup sponsors are great. We always mention them because, and as I say every time, without them, me and you wouldn't be stood here really looking forward to quarterfinal 4 of 4.
That is 100% correct, and we're looking forward to a game between two teams in contrasting form. But as you say, the sponsors make it all possible, and we've got to be grateful for their input.
Who will go through? We already know Gungahlin United will play host to Canberra, Croatia. I think that one's going to be on Wednesday, May 21, I think. The winner of this will travel to take on Queanbeyan City, I think on a Tuesday night, to be confirmed. South Jerebbomberra Regional Sporting Complex. I will get there one day with that. They won 2-0 last night against Brindabella Blues. David Munoz's own goal, unfortunately, gave Queanbeyan the lead, and then Nawal Guerrero with a thumping header to make it 2-0 and put Queanbeyan City, as expected, through to the semi-finals for the first time ever in their history. They've been quarter-finalists a couple of times before this season, and then now, of course, semi-finalists, and they will play the winner of this one.
Which is an exciting prospect for Queanbeyan. I mean, obviously promoted this year into the National Premier League. The start of the season hasn't been fantastic for them. They're still finding their feet at the higher level. But a good cup run can do wonders for your confidence, and if they can get past the winner of this and into the final, they'll be feeling a lot better about themselves.
And speaking of confidence, it's all changed around a little bit since we've the start of the season for Tigers, who drew their first game and then were smashed by Monero Panthers. They got past Majura FC in the last round, less than sparkling fashion, but did the job. But since then, successive 4-0 wins over O'Connor, and perhaps most poignantly, the Gungahlin team they're playing tonight at South Jera. And then the 2-2 with Gungahlin on the weekend, bit of a backward step. But by contrast, Gungahlin United, it has been a shocker. After they lost the Charity Shield, they had that remarkable cup win, 5-2 against O'Connor Knights. They were 2-0 down at half-time. We thought they were dead and buried. They've come back to win 5-2 since then, though. 0-0 draws against Gungahlin and Queanbeyan, 2 4-0 losses against Tigers, Canberra, Croatia. They are now, of course, and I've mentioned this before, 488 minutes in the league without a goal, 360 minutes in all competitions, with their last goal being that strike in the 89th minute from Dennis Ayo. In round 4. You couldn't have two teams that are at the other end of the spectrum at the moment, could you?
No, I mean, the goals for column for Gungahlin is really quite concerning. You've mentioned it, it's a hours-long drought. They've not been in great form in the league. The cup has been a release for them. You know, the 5-2 win when they were 2-0 down, I mean, showed that they can score goals. 5 in 45 minutes is a good return. If you take a line through the Gungahlin form, both teams have drawn with Gungahlin recently. So maybe there's not that much between them. And if Gungahlin can, in fact, break that drought, maybe get in front, then you'd give them half a chance.
We've seen them a lot, Gungahlin United, since that cup tie. The worrying thing for fans of Gungahlin United, from a neutral perspective, us looking on, is not the fact that they haven't scored goals, but the fact that they've barely created a chance to score a goal. Yeah. They had a couple, I think, the other week in the defeat at South Jera. Daddario had a one-on-one which was stopped as well, I think, but there's been very few chances. I mean, we'll go through the team in a moment. Formation switches to a 4-4-2, we think, tonight. Maybe by need more than anything else, but how are they going to find a goal? Josh Gaspari out for the season, I understand, with a knee injury. That's a massive loss.
Massive.
And it's just, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom, but somewhere along the line they have to have someone stand up. Yeah,
and maybe it is a change of system that's required. Maybe playing through the middle is going to help them. But you would be concerned if you were the coaching staff at Gungahlin if the chances are not being created, because that's a lot worse than chances being created and missed. So they've really got to battle. So they've got to get the process right, and the outcomes will follow. So really, they're relying on similar personnel that they've had for the last 3 or 4 games. Lukas Flores needs to find a bit of form in front of goal. I think there's goals in their midfield. Certainly Charlie Daddario started the season well with a flurry of goals. So it's there. It's a matter of them finding form.
They met a fortnight ago at South Gerra. William Akio hit a hat-trick for the Tigers. He's in the lineup tonight. We will go through those teams in just a moment. His form has been good of late. Broken ankle last July. First game back, of course, was here in Canberra. Took him a while to find his groove, but from a player that's played internationally, you'd expect him at some stage to start showing the sort of form that got him international caps. Now, maybe we saw a glimpse of it in that 4-0 win. 2 really good goals and a well-taken penalty. But I think there's more to come.
I think that's right. I think throughout his time in Canberra, he's shown glimpses of the sort of player that he might be, the problems that he might create. We haven't seen a full 90 minutes from him yet, if I can put it that way. But he looks to be a player that can be a game changer. He's got goals in him, he's got a trick in him, he's quick and he's strong, likes to get on the ball. His distribution's reasonable from what we've seen so far. So I think they've actually landed on the feet with that sort of player. And, you know, if they're patient with him, they'll get the rewards, they'll get the returns that they've been looking for.
Nick Popovic not in the 11 tonight. We understand it's a rotational thing for a workload for Nick Popovic. Ali Effie back on the bench. Now, is this going to make a big difference? We saw on the weekend, for those of you that watched the Tigers-Tuggeranong game, there was a little bit of discontent and discord amongst that Tigers 11 that was on the field. They were chatting to each other. There was words being exchanged. When Ali's in that box, that doesn't happen, does it?
No, that's right. And we were speaking to him earlier on in the evening, and he said that they've addressed those sorts of issues, so I'm not expecting that you'll see much of it tonight. I think Ali is a calming influence on them. He instills a little bit of discipline for them. So I would expect you get a really professional performance out of it.
Nick Tedeschi will start at 9 in the absence of Popovic. How much of that is a blow for Tigers not having Nick Popovic out there tonight?
Well, you always miss quality players, but Tedeschi's, you know, you don't lose much with Tedeschi playing through there. It's probably a role that he's not been familiar with over the last couple of seasons. But he'll work hard, he'll get the ball at his feet, he'll bring people into the game, and if there are chances created, I'm sure he's capable of taking them. So, look, yes, you miss quality, but I don't know that it'll be a game changer. The Popovic isn't in the starting 11 tonight.
Might not be a game changer. There might be a game changer on the weekend. Before we get focused on this, we'll tell you about what's happening this weekend in the Premier League. And it all starts for us on Saturday, the 10th of May at High Street. It's the Clearwaters Derby, is what I'm calling it now. Queanbeyan City versus Monero Panthers. Clearwaters Derby, basically, because the word Queanbeyan is the Aboriginal derivative of Queanbeyan, which means clear waters. So there we go. It's the Clearwaters Derby.
That is a fantastic piece of knowledge.
Thank you very much.
Russ, I can't tell you how impressed I am.
And that is why we're calling it the Clearwaters Derby now on the weekend and forevermore. So feel free to share it. And on Sunday, we'll be at Canberra 2, Tuggeranong United versus O'Connor Knights. Tigers, well, they'll be playing Canberra, Croatia on the AIS grass, and Ugali will play Gungahlin, who will travel to Griffith. Gungahlin are out there. Let's have a look at their lineup. Aidan Mumford in goal. Ellie Darwich and Nikita Burns will be the fullbacks. Jack Green and Thomas Robertson, the central defensive pairing. We understand that Bailey Dixon and Riley Brown will form the midfield duo. Out wide, Giancarlo Daddario and Samuel Thompson. Up front, Lukas Flores and Dennis Ayo. 7 on the bench. Goalkeeper Isaac Alves. Youngsters Hamish Small, Fabian Oliveras and Deacon Palumbi alongside Jacob Kite and Jaden Rippon. Change of shape, perhaps. We see that on the paper. You mentioned a couple of players that are important to them, but looking at that young group, Jack Green stands out as the most experienced.
Excuse me. A lot riding on Jack Green being that influence at the back that he's been in the past for Gungahlin. We know his experience is invaluable. We know his quality, particularly with his left foot. He's capable of breaking up attacks and then starting them. So he's an all-round modern defender. He's coming to the end of his career, perhaps. He's not the sprightly Jack Green that he was a couple of seasons ago, but absolutely vital to Gungahlin's chances tonight is that he plays well.
A couple of players missing from that team. Julian Smith, one of them. Yoshida Shoki as well, the Japanese, both injured. Ibrahim Abid not able to play due to an administrative error, unfortunately, for the young boy. Yeah. Tigers FC, well, they look like they're going to go with a 4-3-3 as they have done, but as we know with Aliefi's sides, they're particularly fluid. Willem Lejeune will start in goal. Noah Steinecker and Shandon Whitehead will be the fullbacks. Marco Milutinovic and skipper Sam Whittier, the central defensive pair. 3 in midfield, we'll see Angus Pitkin anchor it with Tomohiro Ogawa and Augustin Bangira allowed a bit more freedom in front. Up top, William Akio and Archie McGregor will provide pace, power and penetration out wide. Nick Tedeschi, as mentioned, will lead the line. On the bench, Gabe Tarazi is the sub-goalkeeper. Angus Bailey, Samson Carr, Michael South and Nikos Kalfas, Nick Popovic. It is a litany of names on the Tigers bench.
Strong, a lot of depth in that squad. I mean, the starting 11 has a lot of quality about it. There is no doubt about it that their midfield 3, if it gets on top, they will be creating all sorts of problems for Gungahlin. And it'd be interesting to see how if they go 4-4-2, whether they actually play with a diamond so that it allows them to deal with the 3. If they go with a flat 4, it could be really, really interesting.
And interestingly enough, the 3 I just mentioned, Smith, Shockey and Abid, sat about 4 rows in front of us down there, Steve. Match referee Joshua Eyes, very experienced in the middle, Harold Spanner, and Cameron Wallace are his assistants. And you know what? I'm going to say it again. 6:30, kickoff time, 6:31. And, you know, here we are, waiting to go. Cup football. Queanbeyan City will be tuning in. Very interested indeed. They await the winners. All signs point to a Tigers victory. However, Cup football has a strange way of throwing up the unexpected. 45 minutes into their round 4 encounter, Gungahlin United looked dead and buried. 45 minutes later, they were cruising to a 5-2 victory. Anything can happen, so strap in and prepare for what should be another night of Cup magic.
If we ever get started.
We will start eventually. The 2 goalkeepers at either end will have a part to play. Aidan Mumford and William Lejeune. Both huge of stature.
Both in good form.
Both might well need to be in the best form. Gunners in the pink and white. Robertson. His first ball forward is picked off by Ogawa. He can't find the on-rushing Archie McGregor. Straight away you can see it's as we expected in the lineup, Steve. Especially from Tigers.
Yeah. Pretty orthodox 4-3-3, I think. Important that Gungahlin make a brisk start. They can't afford to be chasing the game early doors. So I'm expecting them to be a little bit cautious to start off with. Try and keep a little bit of possession. And the early running might just be all Tigers. But if they can keep that clean sheet, they'll be all right.
The early running here is from Dennis Ayo. He couldn't quite get away. Stumbled at an inopportune time. Lovely play by Thompson out on the wing to send him free. And here's Luca Flores. Bright from Gungahlin.
Yeah, get the early corner, I think.
Yeah, first set piece and a chance for Jack Green and Thomas Robertson to trot forward and join the attack.
This is where they'll miss Julian Smith because he's another big body that they can put into the box. But nonetheless, they've got enough in there. Certainly with Jack Green, we've seen it year in, year out, that you know where it's going, but it's very hard to stop him getting on the end of it.
And when you're struggling for goals, set pieces are usually a source that you can plunder.
Yep.
Let's see what Thompson can do with this to swing it in towards Green. Couldn't beat McGregor at the near post. Second bite of the cherry for the winger. Decent looking ball. Lejeune, though, through the crowd. Sam Thompson wearing the gloves. Tedeschi will chase. Mumford's come a long way. Been caught by his own goalkeeper. By his own defender, rather. Bangira.
Yeah, that was a great piece of goalkeeping. Lejeune, very commanding in his box and a great release. Nearly got Tedeschi away.
Said Sam Thompson's wearing the short sleeves with the gloves, which is always a strange choice, isn't it? Wonder how long it'll be before they come off. Literally and metaphorically, perhaps. Who knows? Whitehead settled into life as a Tiger. Formerly a Gungahlin player, of course. Now here's Ayo. Full of pace. Scored twice in that cup tie win over O'Connor. A direct run as well from Dennis Ayo. And he wants to tee up Bailey Dickinson. rather stumbled his way through it. Taken by Darwich. Late inclusion in the lineup, I'm led to believe.
Oh, righto, because we didn't think he was starting, did we?
No, he didn't have him in the starting 11. There was a problem with a couple of the players who were supposed to play. It was the Ibrahim Obeid issue that's the problem, the administrative change, which meant he couldn't play. Bailey Dickinson's dropped into midfield and Darwich has come in as a fullback.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going forward, he offers a lot, Ellie Darwich. I think he can be, you know, if he can get up and down that right flank, and then he can actually add something to the Gungahlin attack. Crowd's
building up nicely here tonight. There's a couple of canteen options if you're in the area as well, which I'll come to in a minute. Dickinson, Nikita Burns will exchange of passes with Daddario. Finds its way to Riley Brown. There's a pizza van here, believe it or not, Stephen. You partook of the fried chicken option, which was quite nice, wasn't it?
The chicken wings were lovely.
Yes, if you're around in the area, there is a couple of canteen spots for you as well. Free entry, of course, and a magnificently large grandstand for you to get involved in if you want.
But please do not order the ham and pineapple pizza.
No, dear, don't do a Josh and do a ham and pineapple. If you're at home and watching and you feel that ham and pineapple is the way to go on a pizza, feel free to let me know. And we'll shame you in front of the entirety of Canberra. Here's Akio. They're going to go through the gears and slide one through. Not quite the pass he was looking for. Safe to say that it wouldn't be our first choice, would it, Steve? Ham and pineapple.
I can take it.
Wouldn't be your first choice, though.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Milutinovic stretched a sinew to win the header. Ogwood's touch, Pitkin. Tigers' first time to get a bit of possession. Burns, meaty header that was. Steinaker likewise. McGregor. When he's on song and going at 100 miles an hour, he's hard to stop, Archie McGregor.
Yeah, good young player. Good young player.
Got himself a couple of cup goals himself in the win over Majura, in which Michael Southam also scored twice.
He did.
He's on the bench tonight.
Yeah, he was surprisingly put onto the bench after they'd got the draw in Gungahlin, when he'd scored there with a nice header.
Here's Jack Green.
And then he came back into the side for the cup game against Majura and got another cup.
Green swings it in. Io's the target. Lejeune elects to punch, and now the break might be on for Akio. Only Tineski ahead of him. 6 pink shirts in the way. Not exactly busting the gut to support William Akio, the Tigers. Rather slowed it down. Sam Whittier, erstwhile skipper, scorer of goals from his central defensive role.
Yeah, I think what you'll see with Gungahlin is out of possession, and they're sitting with a midfield block, but they're going 4-5-1, which, you know, the 4-4-2 easily translates into that sort of defensive posture. And I think that's probably as a result of them, one, not scoring enough goals themselves, but conceding so many. So they're looking to sort of tighten up.
Well, they held out here for a rather long time against Canberra, Croatia, didn't they? And then it rather blew out with 3 quick-fire goals.
And that's been the story of the season. Monero have got a happy knack of scoring really quick-fire goals. Canberra Croatia have done the same.
Canberra Croatia have a history of it, don't they?
Yeah.
Mentioned it in commentary before many times in the mid to late 2000s and the early 2010s. They would score goals in clutches. You thought you were in a game, only for them to score 2 or 3 and you were out of it in no time. This new generation of Canberra Croatia players seems to be made of the same ilk at the moment. We'll see how they go against Tigers on the weekend. Big game that is for Tigers. 5 points behind Canberra Croatia, having played a game more. If they lose that game, that obviously blows out to 8, and Croatia's game in hands could well take it to 11, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, well, that's the end of that. Ellie Darwich is down here.
Shoelace or injured?
It's hard to see from where we are. It's about 300 miles away. I think it must have been a shoelace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that gap would be big, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, they don't want to be dropping too far off the pace, that's for sure.
Thompson. No chance to have a run with Flores and Daddario.
Yeah, I thought the better option then for Flores was probably to take it on a bit and have a ping himself. But they've made a good start. They're not overawed by the opposition. They've had enough possession. They've actually moved it reasonably well. But it's been a little bit end-to-end, hasn't it? You wouldn't say one team was on the top or on top of the other, but Gungahlin, given their form, will be reasonably happy with the start.
Here's Akio running all the way from that pizza shop in Flory. That's a horrendous tackle sliding in. He's going to see a yellow card here, William Akio. Lost possession of the ball after a 50-metre crossfield run, and then left a boot in.
Yes, it's a long way to run to get booked. You can stand still and do that.
Yeah, one that was felt by Nikita Burns.
You got him late. It was agricultural at best.
Teams have met 23 times in the NPL. Gunners have won 10. The Tigers 9. There's been 4 draws.
Not much between them.
No, in 11 games designated as Gunners home matches in that time. Gunners won 6. Tigers 3, 2 draws. Outside the NPL, there have been 5 meetings. Gungahlin has won 3. Tigers have won 2. Gunners, of course, won the 2019 grand final between the two, which wasn't even a contest. Ended 5-0 in favour of Gungahlin United. Much changed Gunners team from the last 2 years. This league champion side. I mentioned earlier in the year that only of the, I think it was 14 or 15 players who scored a goal for them in the NPL this year, Steve. Only 3 are still at the club. One of those is William McCloskey, I think is long-term injured at the moment.
Right.
So that's why they are struggling for goals.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of it's moved away.
Well, they lost a lot of goals out of the forward line from the start of last season. No, Lookman was here, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ahmad Schreiber, the Golden Boot winner. Daniel Lawier has moved on. This man, Augustin Bangura.
Romeo
Yambrek, now at Tuggeranong. Yeah. They've a fair few have moved away.
Yeah,
but they just need to find what works for them.
Yeah, and it'll take a bit of time. They're in obviously they're in a period of transition. That old nutshell. We're always in transition sort of thing, but they are, and they will find their feet and they'll come good. The club itself has got a wonderful program. The juniors will be knocking on the door of first grade selection within the next 18 months.
Which is ball forward looking for McGregor. He's managed to keep it in somehow and then couldn't link up with the forward running Pitkin. Bailey Dickinson could tidy up and Jack Green could complete the clearance. There is a few of the youngsters that have come through the system on the bench. A few Gungahlin players floating around in the stands. Milutinovic gets rid of it. And I think Javier Roca would have been pleased with this opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, no reason not to be. They've more than held their own. I mean, it's like 10 minutes in. There's not anything to write home about yet, but they've held their own. They've been at least as good as Tigers at this stage.
They had over 17 minutes at South Gerrard before William Akio scored the first goal. If memory serves me right, it was created by a run from Angus Bailey down the touchline, and he pulled it back. On the bench today, him, alongside a plethora of other talents in Tigers colours. Jack Green finds Bailey Dickinson. Room for Robertson.
Bailey Dickinson, a lot of potential. I think this has got to be his breakout year. He's sort of commanding now a starting 11 spot with Gungahlin, and he needs to show people what he's really capable of. He's got a lot of potential.
So I'm going to ask you, because I've seen him play right full-back.
Yeah.
I've seen him play as a holding midfielder. Which is his best position in your opinion?
Midfield. I think midfield.
Where he is right now?
Yeah. I think that's he's better suited there. He's a very creative player, even if he might be a defensive midfielder as time goes by. But he's creative. He can start things. He works hard. He's got great touch, great vision. So I think midfield in a team like Gungahlin is perfect for him.
Forming the axis in front of the back four alongside Riley Brown in there at the moment.
Another really good young player, Riley Brown. Both came through the ranks at Belconnen.
Well, the Gunners juniors coming in.
The Ultras, the Gunners Ultras.
Training must be off. Don't train Wednesday nights, do you?
No.
But it's good to see. Fair few making their way into the grounds.
More people here than I thought for a Wednesday night, that's for sure.
Akio, lovely touch, and he's in again here, William Akio, and he's got the pace to torment and get there, and it's an opportunity that's turned home. It may well have been an own goal. William Akio will claim it. The last touch might have been off Brown, it might have been off Burns, but the Tigers couldn't care less, and they break through after 13 minutes.
Yeah, just as we were singing the praises of Gungahlin for being in it, they've been undone by some pace down the left-hand side and into the penalty. I think it is an own goal. I think the last touch comes off a Gungahlin player. I don't know that Mumford will be overly pleased with his contribution to that because he got caught outside his near post. But all credit to Tigers. 1-0 up. 1 foot in the semi, perhaps.
Their first major attack ends in a goal, and if you've got a replay at home, let us know who it went in off. Was it Riley Brown? Was it Nikita Burns? I think it was one of the two, but the groundwork and the spade work was created by William Accio. His pace to get there.
It miles too quick for the defenders, wasn't he?
And then the presence of mind to pull it back into the danger area where anything can happen.
I mean, it was touch and go whether it had actually gone out because he got really close to the goal line, but referee and linesman perfectly positioned to actually adjudicate. So good goal for Tigers.
Gunners need a response.
Yeah, they don't want to be going further behind, that's for sure.
They started brightly. But when you haven't scored for such a long time, it just becomes self-perpetuating, doesn't it? It becomes harder and harder.
Yeah. You know, you're finding it hard to score one, and now you've got to score two.
And Lejeune clutches that through the crowd, and he can launch it towards Accio again. Good win by Riley Brown. Adam Stevens says it went in off Munford.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper, maybe it did. Well, thank you very much. We can't tell from this far away. We'll get official confirmation at half-time. Either way, we will go with Adam Stevens. It was no goal with the goalkeeper at the moment, unless someone else wants to argue.
It must have gone through his legs and just
hit him on the heel or something, yeah. Here goes Accio again. Bit between the teeth, William Accio.
Yeah. On the bench on the weekend, he's fresh into this, so he looks like he's up for it.
Do you know what? It's a bit rough from Adam Stevens. You'd think he'd be with the goalkeeper club and suggest it was a defender. I mean, he stitched up one of his own.
Honesty and integrity, Russ.
That's exactly it. Milutinovic. Whitehead skips away from Io. The Tigers looking comfortable after a nervy-ish start. It's amazing what a goal can do. As it is with cup football, though, as we've seen over the last few weeks, Steve, you never write anyone off, would you? No. I wrote Ugali's obituary. I mean, in the end, we were right. They didn't go through.
but you were thinking
about half
90 minutes.
half an hour later, unfortunately for everybody, and especially for Ugali, who fought their way back magnificently into that game, but they looked dead and buried in. And Gungahlin have been behind in the cup before, of course. Steinacker.
One goal is not an insurmountable problem.
It's just a psychological burden, isn't it? When you haven't been scoring goals, all of a sudden you've got to get two.
Yeah, it's a mountain, or it'll appear like a mountain, but they remain composed, stay relaxed, keep trying to play. Then they can't afford to do things like that. That's just...
They can't go the whole of the year without scoring a goal. It will come at some stage.
They'll score tonight. It might be too late.
Well, if you're being harsh, they already have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What a way to break the drought.
Ogawert was stretching to keep that in, couldn't quite do so. Not many Tigers fans around here tonight. Their under-16s are in action, aren't they? They're playing West Canberra Wanderers this evening.
Yeah. Yeah, on the synthetic, I think.
Nice feet, Taneski. Whittier. Noah Steinacker. McGregor tries to roll his marker.
Very nearly did.
Tigers have seen a lead fall away a couple of times this season as well, haven't they? Thinking back to round one where they were 2-0 up in Griffith.
Yeah.
And that fell away from them. They look like a different outfit now, though.
They do. I mean, this is...
Come back to that in a second, as Io's done really well to keep it in. Dickinson. Brown. Charged down by Bangura. Now Green needs to get there and does. And twice. But Akio stepped away. He's got jet heel pace, isn't he, from a standing start?
Yeah, first 5 yards, first 10 yards, really, really quick. Very explosive ability to get off the mark.
He also runs his own vlog, if you want to look it up.
You've told me that before.
Yeah,
apparently,
have a look. He's very...
He mics up, doesn't he, during games, or he has done in the past.
Yeah, I'm not sure Ali's too happy about that. So maybe that stopped at the moment.
Yeah.
Whittier. But it is entertaining. Anything that promotes the competition as well, isn't it? McGregor. Burns jumped and missed, and now McGregor can twist and turn and torment. Great tackle from Burns. Well, mind you, I thought that was a really good tackle this morning by the Barcelona defender, which turned out to be a penalty. Yeah. It looked like a great tackle, didn't it?
I mean, there was one angle, I think, that showed that it was a penalty.
100% it was a penalty, but you looked from the first angle, you're thinking, oh, great tackle that is.
In the Gungahlin setup, the defending really low, they're not pressing high at all. And unfortunately, the two fullbacks are being given a bit of a chasing at the moment. Archie McGregor on this side, and what's he called on the other to set up the goal? What's his name?
Akio,
sorry. They're just a little bit too quick for the two fullbacks, so they may be better on just pressing a little bit higher up the game.
Taneski swept it in, but it went out of play before it came back in. It's fair to say Burns and Darwich second best at the moment to their respective wingers.
Yeah, and it's not through lack of effort or anything like that. It's just that you're up against a couple of athletic players that just have them for pace.
Gunners have actually won only once in their last 8 matches, which is not a great record in all competitions. And that was the cup win over Connor Knights in round 4.
Yeah.
The tail end of last year saw them draw a game with Croatia, which was their last MPL goal. And then they lost the Tigers, of course, in that elimination final.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gungahlin, their end of season form last year has sort of carried on into this season. And they need to change that around a little bit.
Yeah, mitigated circumstances for Javier Rocker, of course, having to work with a almost completely new squad with so many leaving, having won the league title. Whittier.
Certainly since the goal, it's been Tigers that are on top.
Olga was touched. Steinacker showing good pace, but so did Daddario. Green and Mumford combined. Robertson just found its way to Burns. Not sure that was the intended target. Green again. Always seems to have a couple of yards. Not his best pass, but he's never flustered.
No, just lopes up the park with the ball at his feet like he's born to do it.
I mean, you can charge him down 2 or 3 players and they don't get to him. No fluster. There's Taneski. And here's McGregor in for 2. Good save, Mumford. Sharp and alert to his near post. But worryingly for Gungahlin, knife through butter.
It was, and again it came from Gungahlin turning over possession when they really weren't under any pressure to do so. Great run from McGregor, great through ball, and a fine save for the goalkeeper.
Turning the screw, Tigers.
Yeah, they're just getting on top now, and if you get another one, it would be a long, long way to come back from a Gungahlin point of view. Lots of players in the box at the far post here, so.
I was just counting them, 5 of them in on the far post. Bangura at the front. And Taneski with the set piece.
And Gungahlin a little bit zonal.
Swung in towards the danger area, and well, Milutinovic came through the crowd and got a piece of it and might have done better.
Yeah, it awkward bounce in front of him, but he was unchallenged.
I think he might have seen it a bit late. The fact it came through that crowd of players.
Not good signs for Gungahlin, though.
Milutinovic, Darwich. They need a spark from somewhere. Where's it going to come from? Looking around this field, who is going to step up?
You can't, from the body language, you couldn't pick somebody, could you? They're just about still in it.
They need something. They need a break. You know, something to ricochet or deflect or whatever it might be.
I mean, if if you're counting on that sort of luck, then
it's just one of those things sometimes, Steve. If you get one like that, it can just flick a switch and the whole thing can change.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's serendipitous, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you've been in this situation and you look at it and go, where is the next one coming from? You've just got to keep plugging away. And doing that against a rampant Tigers on the break. And they love a break. Bangura, Taneski, Ogawa can pick a pass. Floats one for McGregor. Good recovery by Burns.
Yeah, it did well.
Green.
Turned the wrong way.
And Riley Brown got there eventually. Robertson.
Wow.
How's your touch, Aidan Mumford? Fizzed it at him. Robertson.
Good run.
Finds Thompson. Space on this near side for Daddario. Chance for him to have a run at Steinacker. Thompson. Dickinson. Brown. Every Tiger back behind the ball except for Nick Taneski.
Yeah, and they've just lost the impetus. They were in a good spot to keep going forward. And
it's a nice turn from Dickinson. Thompson. Opportunity to swing this in the area, but Lejeune was there again.
And they didn't have people in the right areas anyway, did they? It's one of the reasons they're not scoring goals is because people are not prepared to attack the right areas of the box. And you've got to attack with aggression and pace. And that was really indicative what the problems are, because they were watching and hoping that something might happen.
Bangura with Brown, good battle. Daddario, Brown, Thompson, nice angle on that. Important header from Whittier. Steinacker away. One by Brown again. Might come here for Thompson, who tries to bend one.
Yeah. Seen worse efforts. And like you were talking to or alluding to before, one of those goes in, your season changes on a dime.
He's got the potential, Sam Thompson. I've seen him play a lot in the CFL, the local futsal premier competition, and he's got good touch, good pace, good feet. So he's got it in his locker.
Maybe it's somebody like him that can change it for him. They certainly. I agree with you. I think they need somebody to step up and make it happen.
Smart money's on a Jack Green header off a corner, isn't it?
Well, I'm thinking to myself that Jack Green needs to step up with his leadership as well. He's got to really lift this team around him. He'll be doing his best, Jack Green. He'll lead by example, but he needs to really encourage some of these younger players to get on the ball and play.
Nakio again. Dennis Ayo back there to do the defensive duties. Women's Cup semi-final action for you next Tuesday, live on the Capital Football YouTube channel. Canberra, Croatia versus West Canberra Wanderers on Tuesday night at Deakin Stadium. And then on Wednesday, attention will switch to the AIS, where Canberra Olympic will take on Belconnen United. Clash of the Titans. Places in the Federation Cup final up for grabs. Double-header Cup final day, of course, on first weekend of June. Women's Federation Cup final, Men's Australia Cup qualifying final. Always a great day in the calendar.
Was that the weekend, the 3rd or 4th?
I think it might be, yeah. Haven't really checked the dates that far ahead yet.
Yeah, I think Monday is the 5th.
All the details regarding those matches, of course, can be found on the Capital Football website and social media channels, capitalfootball.com.au and Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, that's harsh.
You can follow Steve Forshaw's adventures on his Instagram channel. TikTok.
Captain Pugwash.
Steve's TikTok channel is his watch.
And that's digital.
Jack Green to switch it in. It's a good ball, that. Milutinovic stood firm. It's going to come for Ayo, but I think there was a foot in there. And it will be a free kick for Tigers.
Took the wrong option anyway. I mean, had they been able to play on the ball wide to the right-hand side, had to play miles of space. Academic at the moment.
Coming up to 28 minutes gone.
And at the risk of jeopardising Gungahlin's comeback, they've just crept back into it. They're no longer sort of on the back foot, but they're not necessarily creating enough to worry the Tigers.
You're watching live Australia Cup, Hahn Australia Cup qualifying action, brought to you by our sponsors, Allstate Towing, Electro Tinj, Deakin Club, Kitro Excavations, Rhythm Snowsports, Canberra PC Repair, LJ Hooker and Xela Constructions. Thanks to our sponsors yet again. You'll see them flashing across your screen quite a lot through the context of all these games. 1-0 the score. The own goal.
There's been a plethora of chances at either end, has it?
I'm shaking my head in agreement. Or nodding my head in agreement. What would it be? I'm shaking my head some way.
Wobbling your head.
Here comes Akio, quick across the ground again. Skips past a couple. Burns brings him down. Trailing leg and a clip on that ankle and a free kick in a presentable position. Now, central-ish, just to the right of the D.
Scoring zone.
Well, against most goalkeepers, maybe. Aidan Mumford, it'll take something special to beat this fella from here.
Yeah.
Who's got it in their locker?
They're all
Shandon Whitehead, Nick Taneski, Augustin Bangura, William Akio. Take your pick. Well, this is a left footer, maybe. Whitehead might be favourite. Akio seems to have put the ball under his arm and said, this is me. Well, Akio's the right foot. Whitehead's the left foot. Taneski and Bangura have been told their services are not required.
I'd favour a left footer from here. So over the wall into the near post.
Well, that would be the likelihood, you would think. It's a tall wall. The way Akio's been playing, though, you wouldn't bet against him wanting a pop from here as well. But it's going to be Whitehead, and it's a good effort, but straight down the throat of Mumford, who had a slight heart-in-mouth moment when it bobbled in his hands, but I think he was under control.
Yeah, no trouble for their goalkeeper of his stature with that sort of strike.
Robertson, Darwich, Dickinson, Thompson, Brown. Couldn't quite find the final pass. Taneski. And McGregor's off and running, and Mumford decided to come and then stayed, and McGregor, well, the idea was right, the execution was just a little bit off.
Yeah, it was a little bit of indecision from the goalkeeper, and Archie McGregor nearly made him pay full whack for that.
If he'd started that shot half a metre the other way, it might have nestled in that top corner.
Oh, it would have for sure. It was the right idea, wasn't it? The right decision.
The contact was good, probably too good.
It's a bit of an escape from Gungahlin's point of view.
Milutinovic wins the header.
I think it's just good. Riley Brown and Bailey Dickinson have got to be a little bit more positive. Bailey Dickinson in particular has played a lot of football, very sensible, very sort of possession-based football where he's let his team keep it, but they're not making any progress through the pivots.
Ogawa. Akio. Whittier's made a run from the back. He's created a space in the middle for Taneski. I guess Pickens just dropped in for Sam Whittier while he's gone off on a foray. Akio, well, he's off and running again. They're finding it hard to cope with him at the moment. Skipping past a couple, and the delivery's not bad. Jack Green to the rescue with a header.
Yeah, it did enough.
Once again, though, Akio causing issues every time he gets it. Here's Daddario inviting Thompson forward, but Whittier's back there.
Asking him a lot, asking a lot. At least they've got the ball at this end of the park. Maybe they can press in here and force a mistake.
How do they stop William Akio at the moment, Steve? Because he's ghosting past players as if they're not there. Yeah. And it seems only a matter of time before he creates another.
Yeah. They've either got to get really tight with him and perhaps give one or two cynical fouls away just to slow him down, or they've got to cut it out at source, stop the ball being played to him. get a little bit higher up the park, put some pressure on the ball a bit higher up the park, and maybe that'll just take him out of the game a bit. Otherwise, you've got to change personnel and get somebody that's quick enough to stay with him.
Flores having to drop deep to get involved. Thompson. Daddario. Thompson.
Wasted. Good football for a minute.
They're getting into positions at the moment, but the struggles in the front third are endemic when you look at those kind of deliveries. Sam Thompson's a better footballer than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the quality of service equates to the number of chances you'll create, which equals the number of goals you might score, and at the moment they're just not getting enough quality in and around the penalty area.
Milutinovic. And yet, as we approach the 34th minute of the first half, it's still only 1-0.
Yeah, they're still in it.
It only takes a moment. Flores can't get past his man. Akio looks the most lively player on the football pitch at the moment. Bangura looking for the reverse ball.
Maybe they've got a double team and get two people on him, one front, one behind them.
Well, here's a chance for Flores. 3 runners in advance. Can't pick any one of them out.
No, but it's a really hard option. Nobody getting close enough for him to play.
And that's overhit.
Yeah, he's not catching that, no matter how much pace he's got.
Nick Taneski, unusually for him, with the misdirected ball. Here's Nikita Burns, 10 minutes to the break. Gunner seeking a response to the goal created by William Akio in the 13th minute. Daddario will chase him behind, but William Lejeune read the danger. No hanging around from him. Steinacker. No sense of wanting to kill a game off. I know it's very early. McGregor, strong runner. And he's got away from Green, who slipped. Taneski, there's one more over. It's Tomohiro Ogawa. Loves these situations. That deflection, well, it had Mumford scrambling.
Yeah, I think scrambling to try and keep it in rather than make the save. But again, the pace up front is just too much for Gungahlin to handle. They're not actually in position where they can actually cover the first defender. You know, if you're getting pressure on the ball, then you've certainly got to have cover.
William Akio is playing ball boy here as well. Down there to fetch it.
Well, maybe that's the trick, just wear him out.
Well, mind you, if you play ball boy in this field, you are travelling a long way sometimes.
You are indeed. And just a word on the field, I mean, this is probably as good a condition as we've seen Gungahlin over the last few years. It's not perfect, but it's certainly a lot better than it has been in the past.
We'll talk about that again in a second. Akio and Taneski go with the short corner routine, and we'll go once more. We walked on it pre-match, Steve, didn't we? It's quite long.
The grass is a bit long, yeah. Yeah, and that maybe they've deliberately left it a bit long to protect it for a bit longer.
Well, I can tell you that this weekend there is an egg-chasing version of the game on it. I'm not sure if it's league or union here, but that's not going to do it many favours.
No. While it's dry, we might get away with it. As soon as we get rain, it'll cut up, and that'll be the end of this service as we know it.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bad little venue. Akio, flat delivery, not a good one. Dealt with at the near post by Riley Brown. Bangura, well, might have presented that to Flores. 2 runners to the right. Can't squeeze it past Steinacker.
It's not the best pass that Lukas Flores has ever played. He's not been in the game a lot. We haven't mentioned him a lot. He's
I'm just about to mention him now, though, Steve, that this is a player that scored 35 goals in 35 goals rather in 92 matches in the National Premier League. He's not been at his sharpest this season.
Not yet, that's for sure.
But he is the man they will be looking to for the goals.
He is somebody that is a proven goal scorer. He is somebody that, if you can get the service to him in the penalty area, he will get you a goal or two. At the moment, the final third is abject.
Whittier, angle ball from McGregor, who switched wings, causing consternation for Eli Darwich, but only by pulling his shirt.
Yeah, gets away with that then. Darwich, I mean, but it's one-on-one, huh? One-on-one every time. Sometimes you win them and sometimes you don't.
And looking at the physicality of the back four for the Gunners, if you can get McGregor one-on-one with either fullback, you'd fancy him with the physicality against Burns and Dulwich, just because of the sheer size.
Yeah, and it's already been evidenced tonight, where we've seen that. We get a closer look at Accio on this side of the park and see how he goes against Burn, but he's given Dulwich a bit of a chasing on the other side.
Whittier was looking for that run. Two different styles, these wingers, aren't they? Accio, fleet of foot and pace, and loves to run at players. Archie McGregor, much the same, but far more powerful and dynamic in his running style.
And I mean, I may be proven wrong on this, but I actually think he might be better as a 9. Because of his stature, he can actually hold the ball up. He's decent in the air.
Well, he might get a chance there at some stage because Nick Tedeschi's gone down. Accio, little nutmeg, still got it. Steinacker. He's having a go at Burns now as well. The tricky winger, Noah Steinacker.
Nothing, another powerful player, but the
taking a leaf out of that Harry Maguire book from the other week.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like when he skinned the fullback and whipped a cross in. Oh. He's a winger now, apparently.
Yeah.
But another powerful runner, as you say, in Noah Steinacker. There's the whole raft of them in this Tigers outfits.
It's now becoming a feature of their attack that they're using the wings to really good effect.
Well, what can they do of this corner? The last couple have been
average.
Yeah, well, that's the word I'm looking for. Woeful, I was going to go with, but average is better. Nick Tedeschi, has he got something a little better in the locker? It's a better shape on it for sure, much better shape than Archie McGregor.
I think he got first touch, but then it's come off the defender.
It looked destined for the corner, didn't it?
It did. But you've got to be a fan of zonal marking because, you know, you're still. The attacking players are on the run, and it's very, very difficult to beat them in the air.
I've never been a fan of zonal marking.
No, I'm not a great fan of it. I mean, it's useful. You have a couple of players that are in zones.
Tedeschi into the near post, like there. Prime example, nodded away by Bailey Dickinson at the near post, who was in that zone for that exact reason.
Absolutely. There we go.
Ayo, good strong runner himself, but can't keep it in play. And that's when zonal marking works, isn't it?
Yeah.
But as I've said before, Steve, Space has never scored a goal.
Not that I know of.
Dulwich. Tricky feat.
Yeah.
He's a futsal international with Lebanon. Ellie Dulwich.
That's something to tell your grandkids.
Well, I mean, I'll probably forget by then. Oh, you mean him?
You're on fire, right?
Oh, thanks, mate.
I wish somebody would put you out.
Absolutely. Burns, that's asking an awful lot.
Yes.
I don't know if he's put his tennis career on hold, Ellie Dulwich.
Is he a tennis player, isn't he?
He was for a while. He had ambitions of making the Australian Open. Then he played a 9-year-old in Canberra and got whipped quite steadily. But mind you, this was no ordinary 9-year-old. This is someone who's been mentored by Nick Kyrgios by all accounts.
I wouldn't tell anybody anyway.
Well, I mean, I think he was proud. I mean, why wouldn't you? You'd just be like, oh, you know, things happen, don't they?
Yeah. Just got beaten by the next Rod Laver.
He apparently beat him twice as well. Got back to play him again, I think, and yeah, same outcome.
There you go. No fluke.
But yeah.
A lot more direct, aren't they, Tigers? They're prepared to go from back to front.
Well, every pass, and I think this might be systemic of where both teams are at mentally. Quite a lot of the passes from Gungahlin sideways and backwards.
Yeah.
The first thought in a Tiger's head is to go forward and to find a forward pass, as we'll see shortly.
Or a forward run.
Yeah, a forward runner. Yeah.
And this is the point I was making with Riley Brown and Bailey Dickinson before, that when they've been on the ball, they've been neat and tidy, but they haven't really offered much in terms of penetrating the defensive structures of Tigers.
Important couple of minutes to the break here for both sides. Gungahlin to keep themselves in the contest. Tigers, as Accio bursts past one, gets himself another free kick, and there's a yellow card coming out here
Dickinson, is it?
I think it might be Bailey Dickinson who's going to be summoned to have a chat with the officials and get in and see himself into the book.
Getting a little bit frustrated because they can't deal with the pace of Accio. So they're resorting to the cynicism that I alluded to earlier on. Not that I'm a fan of that sort of thing, but...
Well, that's Bailey Dickinson's second yellow card of the Cup competition.
Does that make him suspended?
I think it's 3.
3.
So they'd have to get through this one, and he's in danger of potentially missing a final should they get that far. A long way to go from there, though. Bangura over this Whitehead, the left foot option again. Cluster of shirts on that far post from both teams. Tigers committing 6 into this attack, which will become 5 as Taneski drops off. Bangura lifts it in instead. Nodded away by Robertson. Bangura once more. Hasn't been involved as much as he would have liked. It's bypassed him a little. Taneski out wide. Accio's gone down the middle. And Taneski's looking for Accio, but way too close to Mumford. Daddario. Missed out. Giving it away to Accio, and this is danger. Riley Brown and Nikita Burns between them deal with it. Daddario. Solid. Really good tackle by...
Lucky to get away with that.
And Shannon Whitehead's come over to the right-hand side here at the moment. It was his tackle. Thumping. We'll switch with Steinacker. I think that might be the residual effect of the last corner when Noah Steinacker went across there rather than anything tactical. But we will see. Might be wrong. Looks like he's hanging out over there. Don't often see the fullback swap, do you? You often see the wingers swap.
No, and I think Charlie Daddario has operated down this side for the majority of the game, so not as if the wingers have swapped and they've followed them. It just looks like a tactical change.
Like I say, it might be the residual effect of the free kick, but they've had a chance to switch it back since then.
Yeah, they haven't bothered, have they?
Maybe there's 10 seconds plus stoppage time left of the first half. Maybe it's see it as we are.
Or maybe it's just the combination with Taneski. They feel it's Steinacker and Taneski, or Accio and Steinacker. It'll allow Accio to play a little bit further forward, not have to defend as much if they leave Steinacker holding. But I'm speculating.
Yeah, only Aliefi really knows, does he?
Yeah.
Taneski's dropped from that 9 position out wide. He loves that area of the pitch, Nick Taneski, to cut inside if he can.
Yeah.
Milutinovic back to Lejeune, who's not had a save of note to make.
Done all right in the air, taken crosses.
A lot of crosses.
Yeah.
But nothing really that's going to test a goalkeeper of his ilk. Good turn from Bangura to get away. Was caught late as well there.
That's
Bailey Dickinson again.
Wants to be careful.
And I think Josh Iser has just told him exactly that. The last thing they can afford is to go down to 10. One final chance perhaps in the first half for the Tigers. There can't be much time added on. I can't remember too many stoppages.
No, Darwich went down to do a shoelaces.
I think that's about it, apart from the goal. Accio has got there again.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have. That's poor defending from Robin. I mean, he's recovered well, but he should have done. He should have dealt with that straight away.
He seemed more interested in Accio than the ball.
He did.
Thomas Robertson on that occasion. And here's a chance for the Tigers from a set piece. This would be a cruel time for Gungahlin to concede again.
Yeah, can't afford to be conceded here. Again, obviously, what they practice is to go zonal, 3 guys zonal, and 2 out for the short one.
Whitehead to take.
The back post is free.
It's Noah Steinacker. It's gone in that direction. It's a poor cross, though, from Shandon Whitehead. And Josh Iser will bring the half to a close. And Steve Forshaw, the 1 goal in it. We'll get confirmation from the referees. We think it was an Aidan Mumford own goal. But as I say, we'll confirm it. Tigers have been the better side, I think it's fair to say. But Gungahlin, they're still in this.
Look, there's not much between the 2 teams. The game itself hasn't produced an abundance of goal-made for action. Tigers have shaded it in terms of possession. Gungahlin will be coming in thinking It was an own goal. We're still in the game, plenty to play for, so they need to come out in the second half with a great deal of confidence, and maybe that they can get something out of this game.
Tigers 45 minutes away from a cup semi-final showdown with Queanbeyan City for a place in the final. At half-time here at Gungahlin Enclosed Oval, in front of a subdued home crowd, it's Gungahlin United 0, Tigers FC 1. Well, welcome back to Gungahlin Enclosed Oval. Well, at half-time in this Hahn Australia Cup qualifying quarter-final tie in Canberra. It's Gungahlin United 0, Tigers 1. Brought to you by our Australia Cup sponsors, Allstate Towing. Broken down or been in an accident? Give Allstate Towing a call, your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj proudly supporting the Capital Football Australia Cup qualifying rounds. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Kitro Excavations for your excavation and earth-moving needs. Rhythm Snowsports, ignite the Stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker, for your real estate needs, contact Lukas at LJ Hooker. Xela Construction, commercial builders proudly supporting grassroots football. I'm Russ Gibbs, Steve Forshaw, still Steve Forshaw, I think. He's had a half-time. We're looking around, Steve, and there's going to be a change, isn't there? Jacob Kite is going through a very rigorous warm-up, and he's ready to go, and we will have to see who does not come out.
Yeah, there didn't look to be anybody that was struggling with an injury, so this may be about perhaps just resting players before the weekend's game. Maybe just pre-planned that somebody would have 45 minutes and Kite would come on.
Trying to see who's not coming out at the moment. Difficult to see. I haven't seen Dennis Ayo at the reappear. Angus Bailey, meanwhile, is coming on for the Tigers, so that'll be another one we'll have to sort out for you shortly. I think Augustin Bangura has been taken for the Tigers. Dennis Ayo's down there. So it's definitely Bailey for Bangura on one side, Steve. Is it Samuel Thompson who's not come back out?
Yes.
So Jacob Kite for Samuel Thompson is the change for Gunners. There we go. We had a chat at half-time, when I did, with Josh Iser. He credited the goal to William Akio. We've looked at the replay. Not convinced.
No, I'm firmly of the opinion that it was an own goal.
From Aidan Mumford, it definitely looks like Adam Stevens looks like he was spot on. It hit him on the heel and
well
dropped
spotted.
in. The ball was not going in on target, so we can't give it to William Akio as much as Aidan Mumford would probably wish we could. Anyway, good win at the back by Milutinovic. So the two changes, Jacob Kite into the lineup. Looks like he's gone to the left side of the front three at the moment.
And maybe that's an indication that they are going to press a little higher up the pitch.
Angus Bailey's dropped into the 10 role where Bangura was, so that seems to be like for like. It'd be a positive change if that's the case. Unless they've just changed the shape in midfield. Keep an eye on it. Is he playing as a 10, Steve? Difficult to see at the moment because he's of the shape of it. We'll see.
They've certainly still got two pivots.
McGregor. Free kick goes the way of Gungahlin. 45 minutes to save this cup run. Keep themselves in business. They have represented Canberra in the round of 32 of Gungahlin United, and it was played at this venue.
I remember, yes.
They lost 1-0 to Sydney Olympic. Sydney Olympic side that included a certain Ryan Keir at the time.
Yeah. One of the well-known players around Canberra, no, Ryan Keir.
Plenty against Canberra Croatia. They're still in with a shout, of course. Their semi-final against Tuggeranong United at Canberra 2. That is not a given, even given the form that Canberra Croatia are in.
Well, if there's any team in Canberra that can point to their history against Canberra Croatia, it's Tuggeranong.
Here's a chance for Kites. That's taken a deflection off Pitkin. Canberra Croatia have actually won the last 3 games they played against Tuggeranong, I think it is, at Canberra. Prior to that, they hadn't won for about 7 matches down there.
Yeah.
Could not buy a win against Canberra.
No.
Canberra against Tuggeranong at Canberra.
So what are Gungahlin doing?
Well, they're going to try and score from a corner. We will see what this is. Swung in towards Jack Green. Less than confident from Lejeune. They might have more work to do here. Got rid of it.
Daddario wide left or front 3, you think?
Looks like that, and I'm not sure if Kite's at the top of a midfield diamond now, or the bottom if you prefer. He is battling away. Darwich left it short, wins it back. Kite. Big ask for Jacob Kite. He's played 11 National Premier League games in his career. Hasn't scored a goal in those 11 yet. It's a firm hit from distance from Flores. A bit more positive from him.
Certainly pressing higher.
Well, there's nothing to lose here, is it? And
no.
you can see by Javier Roca, he's rushing to get that ball back. He wants this played at a higher tempo.
Yeah. And I think the first half tactics worked to a certain extent. They sat off. They made Canberra Tigers play in front of them. They've conceded, which is, you know, always something that you would prefer not to do. But the second half, they've come out and said, basically, we're either win this or we're going home. So they've started really well.
Well, they're having a go. And they've got themselves on the front foot to start the second half. Dario with a short corner. No one's picked up Darwich here. Ball takes a deflection. Half-hearted appeal for handball against Angus Bailey.
Riley Brown again wanted to go backwards, and I think he would have been better off trying to play a forward pass.
And it's not as if he hasn't got that.
Oh, he has got it in his locker, yeah.
Darwich wants to turn. He's turned into trouble. He turned into Whitehead, who wants a free kick. He's got away with it there. Akio steals it from from Kite rather. He's putting the pressure on. What they don't want to do is get caught with the classic sucker punch. Jack Green.
It's a good ball.
Dennis Ayo. He's got some space as Ayo. And then the pass is loose. Bailey.
Yeah.
Ogleworth.
Just not quite on the same wavelength of each other.
But it's
much
been
more
better.
Yeah, sorry, Russell. I was going to say the same thing. A bit of more positive start for him.
Before tonight, there have been 87 goals scored in 23 NPL matches. Gunners scored 44, Tigers 43. Overall, Gunners have 54 goals, Tigers have 47. Make that 48 now in this meeting between the two. There's usually plenty. We've got one tonight, and that might prove enough. Green. Off on one of those lolloping runs forward. Kites. Focal point here they have now, making a difference.
Certainly, when they haven't got the ball, they're dropping into 4-5-1 once the press is beaten. But I think they might be certainly trying to get more players forward and in front of the ball.
Darwich. Foul on Dickinson. Free kick goes the way of Gungahlin. Set piece opportunity. Q, Green and Robertson to make their way into the area. Some members of the Gungahlin United women's team.
They're here as well?
Tonight, yeah, just to our left, watching their male counterparts.
What else would you do on a Wednesday night?
Absolutely. Their cup run came to an end in the quarterfinals last week. 1-0 loss to Canberra Olympic. Tatum Marzi poking one home from close range at the AIS to set up a semi-final with Belconnen. Here's Eli Darwich to swing this one into the danger area. The shape was too close to the goalkeeper.
Ambitious, that.
You can see what he was trying.
Yeah, I mean, he got a good pace on it, got shape on it, but it was just miles too close to the keeper. And really, you got to be doing better than that.
Taneski down in a heap.
Was that Bailey Dickinson again?
Well, I did speak to...
No, it wasn't. No.
It was Riley Brown, wasn't it, this time? Did speak to the referee at half-time because I went down to have a chat about the own goal, about who they're giving it to. And I did ask him, was that a last warning for Bailey Dickinson after he just got booked? And he said, well, yes.
Yes, he'll have to be on his best behaviour.
They've refereed it really well, actually, haven't they? Let it flow.
Yeah, not been a difficult game to referee, I don't think, but no, they've done really well.
Kudos to the officiating team tonight. I hope we haven't cursed them. Whittier, Ogleworth. He's not had, but Tomohiro Ogleworth was coming back from an injury. He's not quite hit his straps yet this season.
No, I was going to...
he was so good last year.
I watched him play in the game against Mandurah, I think it was, and he wasn't at his best in that game. But he's too good a player for it to last too much longer.
McGregor's touch is a bit short. And Eli Darwich is a bit unlucky here because he's trodden on the ball and then gone over the top of it to get it back. I think that's a really unfortunate yellow card.
It's just a free kick. I don't think there's any need for a card in that. It was certainly not malicious.
And I think it's only come about because he's trodden on it.
Yeah.
An apology for Angus Bailey. I mean, that's not going to help Angus Bailey. It hurt.
Oh, no, he whacked him. Yeah. But a free kick would have been on. Anyway, it's a yellow card.
Just after I was saying that the referee did really well and had nothing to do. I apologise straight away to Josh Eisen for putting him in that situation. Milutinovic finds Whitehead.
Look, I think it's still 4-4-2, but it's very fluid, Gungahlin. And certainly far more positive in terms of getting up the pitch and pressing higher.
Yeah, it's a much more forward-oriented 4-4-2, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a chance for Flores to get after it.
It's good football.
Bailey. Accio hasn't got into his groove in the second half just yet, fortunately for Gunners. Ogawa. Steinacker.
This is where I think Tigers might be dangerous, where they've sort of been under the pump for a little while.
Robbed of the ball and a chance for Flores. Back in numbers quickly, Tigers. Not much in the way of support for Luka Flores. It's arriving now, a little bit belatedly. Dickinson. Kite. Will he back himself? He does. It's a bit fortunate.
Good turnout. Oh,
he's still gone again there, Kites. And nobody really attacked the ball. And Riley Brown's penalised for handball. But that's their season in a nutshell. Jacob Kite, excellent tenacity. Whips it into the penalty area. Not one pink-shirted player attacking the ball. 3 Tigers players, any one of which could have cleared it and did.
Yeah, and even the second ball was won on the edge of the box by Tigers. But again, it's symptomatic of what's going wrong for them. That Kite gets in behind them, but he's only got 2 options ahead. You've got to get more bodies in the box, and then maybe luck will fall your way.
And on a more positive note, though, it's been a much better second half
Absolutely.
So far from Gungahlin, and they are, well, it seems like if they are to lose tonight, they will go down fighting. There's plenty of time still to go, though. 10 minutes to the second half gone, 1-0 to the Tigers.
This is what we said in the first half, though, that they'd done the first 10 or 12 and stayed in the game. They made a really positive start to the second half, but then they gave a goal away right when they didn't need to.
Nick Teneski's copped another sore one over there. He's copped a couple tonight. The striker.
I think he'll get up.
He's dragging himself off the turf. Ali Effie had a glance behind him and a scan along the bench to see what he might do to re-establish their dominance of this tie. That's a challenge by Ayo on Shandon Whitehead that's going to earn a chat from the referee. Ayo's ball just slightly over the top on Whitehead.
Yeah, it's a dangerous ploy. You've got on top, you're playing okay, you're pressing well, enthusiasm's there, but if you keep giving free kicks away consecutively, you invite the opposition back in. So you just got to be a bit wary that they don't, do themselves a disfavour by being overly enthusiastic.
Ayo's been told no more as well. And Whitehead's got a chance to alleviate the pressure by swinging this in again. Tigers with plenty of numbers to aim for. Swung in towards that far post. The target was Whitty, I think. Didn't come off, and now there's a break on. It's 4-on-2 momentarily if they can work it. An opportunity for Dickinson to have a run at the defence and take on Pitkin, who was doing the defensive duties. Still there, Dickinson, and it bobbles nicely, and there's the equaliser. Rammed in by Luka Flores into the top corner. Half a chance, and the Gunners are on the board.
Put that down to the pace of their transition then, the quality of their transition. They were able to keep possession, get the ball forward quickly. Bailey Dickinson, for a moment, he looked like he'd blown the chance, but then he found that pass into Flores, and we talked about it in the first half. Give Flores chances in the penalty area, and he'll finish for you. And Drought over, game on.
didn't he just finish?
Just reward for a really good start to the second half.
418 minutes between goals this season for the Gunners in the Cup.
Second half Cup team, aren't they?
Well, they're looking like it.
Yeah.
Beware the wounded beast at half-time. Gunners all square. Apt time perhaps to remind you that extra time and penalties are required to find a winner tonight, which we didn't think we might be saying in the first half. Now here they come again. Jacob Kites.
Made such a difference, this fella.
Well, they've been the focal point that they've been lacking perhaps.
Well, he's just been so positive.
Flores. Well, I mentioned in the first half, sometimes when you get one, they come in batches, don't they?
Yep, absolutely. But it's livened Flores up.
Well, it's made Ali Effie turn to the bench. Nick Popovic for William Accio, who's been quieter this half.
It's a strange change, though, given that the trouble he was causing them in the first half.
Nick Teneski will no doubt come wide. Popovic will lead the line.
Yeah, I think this is, I don't want to go to extra time. Let's throw the big guns on.
Nick Popovic was rested from the starting 11 just to save his legs a bit. He played all 5 matches this year so far in the league.
This is a different Gungahlin side that we saw in the first half. There's energy, there's movement, there's pace. Everybody wants the ball.
It's been better, hasn't it? And as we said in the first half, they weren't going to stay goalless for much longer.
I think I did say they'd score tonight.
You did indeed.
I think somebody had doubts that I was correct.
I did say, said in the first half we couldn't see where they were going to get a goal from, but what we found out now, just give it to Flores inside the box. It was some finish.
Emphatic, absolutely emphatic. The goalkeeper never even sniffed it.
And not a prayer for William Lejeune. Now it's Tigers' turn. Questions will be asked of them. Whittier. How often have you seen a team struggle in the league, Steve, but put together performances in the Cup?
And how often do you see a team that's played the opponent, been beaten comfortably in the league, but turn it around in a Cup game? It happens so often. The one thing we won't get tonight, Russ, is 2-0.
Well, that's true.
The Devils result. Not Blue Devils, just Devils.
Speaking of the Blue Devils, 1985 Ampol Cup reunion in November.
Yep, absolutely. Spoke with some of the lads this afternoon. Had lunch with some of them. Norman Yorcroft and Ian Shaw, Hotel, Matty Collins.
40th anniversary of that
1985 win. Yeah.
Over Canberra Olympic. Was it Down Olympic back then?
Well, certainly Olympic. But and it was the...
Come back to that in a second as Dickinson's taking it on.
There's
a chance for a penalty. Well, ball won, says Josh Isa. The bench was up in arms.
You've seen them given, haven't you?
File it in that column. Might be a free kick. Play on. And there's a card coming out here. Nikita Burns is going to find his way into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, we played in that 1985, just to harp on that for a moment, before Australia played. Frank Harrock was the coach, and the Canberra Times reporter at the time, Graham Cook, said that the grand final was a much better game than the Australia game.
Of course it was.
And it was a cracker. It was an absolute...
What was the score?
3-2.
3-2, and who scored the winning goal?
Oh, some little fat fella.
Steve Forshaw. Was it a penalty?
It was, yeah.
From a penalty spot, winning it for Belconnen. And that 40-year reunion taking place in November should be a cracker.
Looking forward to it. If the banter is anything to go by today, then it will be a very good night.
Turns out your penalty was from halfway by then.
I back-heeled it.
Milutinovic. Whiteheads.
The older we've got, the better we were, I've got to say.
Oh, of course. Of course. Were you like 2-0 down or something?
Yeah.
Comeback victory for Belconnen. That's why you've had that affinity with 2-0 down and said it's never over to me. You've lived it.
The lived experience.
Popovic. Looking to spark the Tigers back into action in the 2025 Hahn Australia Cup qualifier.
It's a good ball. Good touch.
Whitehead brought it down. It will be a corner for Tigers. They will be a bit shell-shocked about the start of the second half. And they've got a problem back here for Sam Whittier in the centre circle.
Southam's warming up, so I suppose that's a like-for-like change if it's necessary.
Well, he's just gone down with no one near him, hasn't he? Which generally means it's a muscle injury of some description.
It looks like a hammy.
A reminder on Saturday, the Clearwaters Derby. Monero Panthers travel to High Street against Queanbeyan City for the first time in, well, forever. It's been a good decade, I think, since they've had a competitive derby.
I should imagine that with it being the clear waters, they won't be referring to the Queanbeyan River when they talk about the clear waters, will they?
Probably not. I've been past it a few times. The Riverside runs past there. Sub is going to take place. Michael Southam, as predicted, their cup goal-scoring hero. Got 2 in the last round, and Sam Whittier is going to hobble his way off here. They want to hope that this is not long-term for him. They've got a big game against Canberra, Croatia to come.
Yeah.
Michael Southam, 3 goals this season, Steve, in his entirety of his career. Before this campaign, Michael Southam had scored once, and it was a goal up at the AIS in the 97th minute to put his team level.
Yeah,
and then they lost it.
Yeah. I think we did that.
We did.
Yeah.
And then shortly after this season, he's couldn't stop scoring. Header in the first game.
Oh, he's a machine.
Against Madura.
Absolute machine.
Comes out for Ogawa the corner. Hoisted towards the edge of the box. Not what he was intending, no doubt. But that's good defending.
Yeah, done really well. Michael Southam, I know reasonably well from my time and his time at Belconnen together, and he strikes a ball wonderfully well.
Yeah, I've seen him hit. He could hit a couple of good ones. That goal we mentioned at the AIS, the strike against Madura was a really well hit ball, and so I've seen him play futsal as part of the Southam clan that do play, all of them. Joanne, who's now playing her outdoor football with Madura, and Benjamin the goalkeeper, and goodness me, Michael Southam can hit a football.
He can. And
when you want to hit futsal indoors from about 5 metres away from you, you're getting out of the way of it, aren't you?
Yeah, you won't have time to get out of the way of it.
It just comes at a rocket. Anyway, he might have a part to play tonight in terms of getting his team through. It's 1 apiece in the 65 minutes or so, 20 minutes of the second half gone. You're watching Hahn Australia Cup football, brought to you by Allstate Towing, Electro Tinj, Deakin Club, Kitro Excavations, Rhythm Snowsports, Canberra PC Repair, LJ Hooker and Xela Constructions. And it's an absorbing contest, perhaps more absorbing than many predicted who came here tonight. Popovic.
The pace of the game has gone up another 15-20%. Both teams clearly want this over and done in the 90 minutes, but more importantly, want to be in the hat for the semi-finals.
I'll tell you one team that wouldn't want it done in 90 minutes, Gungahlin, because they play host to Gungahlin on the weekend. Yeah. They'd love them to have another half an hour and then a 4.5-hour bus trip down to Griffith.
2 send-offs and 4 injuries.
Darwich's ball down the line, Ao. Whitehead with him. Good battling by Ao.
Yeah.
It's a bit unfortunate, really.
Probably got away with a little tug.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh, Teneski's popped it up for Dickinson.
Flores has come to life. He's on the ball a lot more now than he was in the first half.
Jack Green to send it forward. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, didn't we, that form goes out the window in these situations. It doesn't really matter what's happened before. And we've seen a prime example of that. All of a sudden, there's a Gungahlin side playing with freedom. Defensive work to do here, though. 5 against 1, though, as Popovic takes it on his own and dances past a couple and goes for goal and forces the save. Stunning solo efforts. Great save from Mumford. It's still there for Ogawa. He might tee it up for McGregor to shift it onto that cannon of a right foot, and Archie McGregor hits the post. Popovic on the rebounds. Can't turn it in. And the Gungahlin survive, and is that the turning point of their luck? Great save, Mumford in the first place, and then McGregor strikes the post.
I mean, Mumford has got Jack Green out of all sorts of trouble there because the defending was very, very un-Jack Green-like. But Mumford comes up with the block, and then they scramble it away.
I think that's Darwich down on this near side, struggling with cramp. But it was 5 against 1, and Nick Popovich ghosted his past 2 as if they were stood still.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not good defending. I mean, realistically, if that goes in, you can understand the coaching staff and other players just dropping their heads and thinking, we're never, ever going to get this done.
Now, this is Hamish Moyle about to come on, a youngster. And to tell you the truth, I do not know anything about this young boy.
No, I know the Moyle family, and I don't know whether he's related. The Moyle family are very involved with Belconnen, and I don't know whether he's related or not. I certainly never heard them talk about a Hamish Moyle, so it may just be a coincidence, but I don't know any. I can't help you, Russ, as far as that.
No, not a new one for me. If you do know about his background, somebody about there will do. Drop us a message. And the reason I haven't done any research on him was he wasn't on the team sheet that I was given yesterday and we had this morning until we got here this evening, and they had the change around with Ibrahim Obeid not being available.
Yeah.
So we will see. See who he's coming on for in the first instance. Is it going to be
Darwich?
Ali Darwich? It would seem that way. But Darwich seems to feel like he can carry on. So who's he changing? Javier Roca is figuring out who is coming off. Is it Darwich? It is.
Must be. I mean, he'll be disappointed when he wasn't in the starting 11 originally.
Yeah.
He's got his chance, and unfortunately he hasn't been able to see the 90 minutes out.
Well, Darwich didn't want to come off. Javier Roca, I think, was making that point that he was going to come off. Darwich wasn't sure it was him, and we've got a conflab now about who's come off and on and why.
And I think maybe something might have been said to one of the assistants that's caused the referee to come over and admonish the bench.
Potentially, it was a change for someone else. And then when Darwich has gone down, they've gone, well, we'll take him off because he's not feeling it. Yeah. And he's on a yellow already as well, perhaps. So we're speculating, but that's the way we are. Ogre into the middle. McGregor swung a boot at it. Caught it, but sent it towards whoever's car is parked over there.
I mean, defensively, just did enough to put him off.
Hamish Moyle used to be at Belconnen, is one of the first ones I've got in. Michael Reed, who tunes in all the time. Thanks, Michael.
You'd think I'd know him, wouldn't you?
Well, Michael Reed or Hamish Moyle?
Well, both.
Both of them. Michael Reed, who loves his football.
The young boy's doing well in the UK.
He is. I understand he's coming over in a couple of weeks.
He's been, hasn't he?
No, he's coming back again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Because he played for the Aussie schoolboys.
He did. He flew in for one game.
Yeah.
And then flew back to the UK.
His arms will be tight.
Lucky enough, I went fortunate enough to have dinner with Campbell and his dad, Michael, after the game. And the family.
That was at
alongside Ian Worthington.
Sutherland, wasn't it? Sutherland.
Yeah, Sutherland Tribes. Apparently it's the same age as Bailey Dickinson, that era.
Hamish is?
Hamish, yeah.
Right.
There you go. It's a bit of information for you. Thanks for that, Michael. We'll see how he goes. He's slotted into right back. Here's Popovich for Tigers. We're seeking an injection of something. McGregor was stretching. Couldn't get a touch on it. And here's Kite. Is it safe to say he's been the difference so far? Certainly made a very positive start.
You ready? Kite is flying.
Oh, thanks, mate. I was teeing it up and hoping you wouldn't go there, and then you did.
Somebody had to.
I was going to use it if he scored. Moyle. Robertson. Holds off the first challenge. Has it back again, Robertson. Slick footwork as well from the big centre-back. He's off and charging.
Oh,
and he's found Ao, who's got past Southam and fizzes it against Milutinovic. Kite, his turn to have a go. Comes off Milutinovic again.
You were nearly on then. You were nearly on.
Well, the change in attitude and the change in the body language of the Gungahlin team since the goal is marked. Since half-time, perhaps. Here they go again. They're going to squeeze it into the area. Oh, I think the flag is up. It is. But it's incredible what a goal can do.
It is, but I think you're right. I think it's the half-time talk that they've had has worked wonders. And to my mind, it's because they've pressed a lot higher up the pitch. They haven't sacrificed half a pitch. They've defended from the front, and I think that's caused Tigers all sorts of problems. They haven't been able to get out with any composure.
Here you go. Hamish Moore played Balcon under 13s in 2019, then 14s 2 years in a row, and then 1 year of 16s, then joined Gungahlin in 2022 and has been there ever since. There you go. There's some information. You ask and you shall receive from the football public. We knew there'd be somebody out there that knew.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it, that people can interact?
And it's really good that the young boy is getting a first-grade start. Well, I don't know that it's a debut. Yeah, an opportunity, yeah. Good word.
Popovic.
Good defender.
I think he might have come on the weekend. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't do the Gungahlin game. I was away. And they played here against Canberra, Croatia.
There was no commentary games on the weekend, was there?
Jordan was here on Friday nights.
For the Canberra Croatia game.
Yeah, he was here for the Croatia
right.
Gungahlin. But yeah, there was no others. Jacob Clear, who does games for me occasionally, was away. Sam Watson was on the women's. Whitehead. I got a couple of messages asking me if I was okay. I was like, no, I'm just having some time off.
Well, stop that.
Sorry.
How dare you?
Nice that people cared. Jack Green has the free kick. Gungahlin fans getting a bit noisy. They can sense something here, can't they, with quarter of an hour to go. Shandon Whitehead stands on it. Free kick goes the way of the Tigers defender. Steve, if you're Queanbeyan City right now, are you thinking, I'd rather play Gungahlin than Tigers? Or, you know, it's a tough one, isn't it?
That's a good question. You know, I'm going to sound a little sort of strange here. Well, I do anyway. But
yeah, why change the habit of a lifetime, eh?
But it may well be that Gungahlin, being a good cup side, you might want to play Tigers. I mean, the form in the cup is much better than the form in the league.
Well, we will see. I'm sure Goran Jozovsky and his team are sat at home watching. They won't really care who they're playing. It's their first ever semi-final.
They'll enjoy the occasion. I mean, whoever they play, it'll be a big ask.
Well, they deserve to be there if they play, of course, because they would have won this match.
Of course.
Ao bursting through and away and looking for the runners wide. It's Flores again, and he wants another go. Sorry, it was Daddario, my apologies, on that far side.
Should have done better
Socks
too.
Rolled down. Moyle's giving it away. Robertson's bailed him out. Daddario to the left, that's where it goes. Giancarlo Daddario into the middle, a.k.a. Charlie.
I was just going to say exactly the same phrase. Yeah. Nice lad.
McGregor.
Had a fine system. When he was at Belcon and I was coaching there, we had a fine system. I think he racked up $250,000 in fines.
Popovic to lift it towards McGregor. There's no free kick given. And Popovic has a chance to pull it back here. Comes up for Steinacker. Was that for getting Kit? And
yeah, Kit, late, anything, missing training without ringing and
playing with your socks rolled down. He's known as well known as he is as Charlie. He did thank us for calling him Giancarlo and he's using his full name, so we will go down that route.
Yeah, lovely. But you wouldn't meet a nicer young man.
He's putting an effort in tonight. I wonder if he's got the winning goal in him. We're approaching that kind of territory if someone scores, although having watched Inter and Barcelona this morning, it's not over till it's over, is it?
No.
Popovic jinking. Good block by Moyle. Steinacker. McGregor. He will win a corner.
Certainly, where the fullbacks from Gungahlin were being tested in the first half, they've certainly sorted that out. They're not under as much pressure as they have been.
And I think it was Nikita Burns there, wasn't it, with the challenge?
Yeah, just got the toe in on him.
Toe in. Not quite as tough assignment at the moment in the second half. Work to do off this corner kick, though. Nick Taneski to take. Tigers would have come here tonight expecting to win. That's the kind of football club they are. Near post was looking for Bailey. Second chance for Taneski to send it into Bailey, who couldn't help it on. He had to cue players if he could. I wonder if there's more to come from the benches. Nikos Kalfas, Samson Carr, Gungahlin United have the choice of Jaden Rippon, Deakin Palumbly, Fabian Oliveras.
Certainly, you know, in the form of Kalfas, you get a player that's capable of turning a game around.
They might need to call on him. Southam gives it away. Burns
gives it away again. It's very transitional, isn't it, at the moment?
Southam nervy, I think, Steve, isn't it? We're at the stage with just over 10 minutes to go where any mistake now might prove costly.
Yeah, you're at the semis. Although you never know, do you? I mean, you would have said the same at Canberra the other night.
I did.
At 4-2.
At 4-2 with 2 minutes of stoppage time to go, I was prepared to say it was done. And I think 99.99% of people in the ground were as well.
Well, I certainly was at home.
The only people that maybe believed were the 11 in the Ugali shirts that got the job done.
I'm not sure they did.
Some of them maybe, yeah, were a bit unfortunate. I'll tell you, just on that note, Darren Bailey's claiming a perfect hat-trick that day with a header, a left foot and a right foot, because his left-footed penalty was saved and he turned the rebound with his right foot. So technically he's right.
Yeah, yep.
I'm not sure he teed it up that way.
No.
Picking.
But I think even when the rebound from the penalty went in, I don't think even Ugali thought it was much more than a consolation. And then suddenly we're in extra time.
Milutinovic. I apologise at home if you can pick up that on the audio. Jack Green let it go. Must have got the call from
I think
Mumford.
he did, yeah, because he looked all over it, didn't he?
Dario, 10 to play. Green sweeps it forwards. Flores
beat Southam in the end, then.
Looks a different player now. He's got Jacob Kite up there with him.
It's made such a difference.
It's allowed Luka Flores to shine and score. Spectacular equaliser.
It's that old big man, little man combination, isn't it? Toshak and Keegan.
I was going to say Toshak as well. I mean, we're on the same wavelength, mate.
Yeah. That frightens me.
People don't know who they are, mate, these days.
No.
Popovic around the outside.
Good foot again. Good footy.
It's certainly getting the crowd involved.
Yes. He's a little young to be sort of inebriated, so it must be deliberate.
I think the the Gungahlin officials are having a chat.
Yeah.
Long throw incoming, perhaps, from Steinacker. Popovic tried to help it on. Battered away by Bailey Dickinson, I think that was.
That throw's nowhere near as long as the boy from Tuggerongs.
It was Riley Brown, my apologies. Here's Steinacker again. No, Cole Falco can throw a ball a mile. Popovic in. McGregor, top of the box. Finds Taneski. Tigers seeking their moments. Couldn't find Whitehead on the overlap, but threatening.
Try to be a little bit too clever. No, we've got somebody down again. Who's that?
Can't see from this distance.
Not Bailey.
It might be Angus Bailey, you know. Who's gone down? I think it is.
That can't be Cramp then, because he's not long gone.
Maybe he just got a stray stud in the knee going for that ball. A reminder that Queanbeyan City await the winners. The other semi-final will see Tuggeranong United and Canberra, Croatia meet at Canberra 2. Cup semi-final football on the agenda next week as well in the women's. Gungahlin United and Canberra Olympic do battle on Wednesday, 24 hours earlier. Canberra, Croatia and West Canberra Wanderers. All of those games live, of course, on the Capital Football YouTube channel. Subs out and warming up, Steve. Extra time looming.
And this is, you know, decision time for both benches and the players, because you get into that very, very nervous stage of, do we play now for extra time or do we push on and try and win it in the 90? And I think the players themselves will be having a bit each way. They'll be thinking no risks, that's for sure.
Bailey will hobble off. They've got an extra sub, don't they, in extra time if they need it. So they could make this change now if they wanted to. As it is, they'll go down with play with 10 at the moment. Whitehead in towards Popovic. Clipped away only as far as Southam. Milutinovic with the skipper's armband on now in the absence of Whittier. There's Whitehead. Ogilvie, something pleased the fans.
I think it was Bailey going back on.
Here goes Steinecker on the overlap. The challenge comes in again and will be another set piece. Another opportunity. Angus Bailey is still hobbling down in front of us here. Big decision this for Ali if he's going to make it now.
I thought he might have come back on, but he obviously hasn't.
Well, Taneski to take for the 10 men momentarily. This would be a heartache if they conceded with 10 on the 10 against 10.
And a set piece as well.
Taneski to take. Swings it deep into the middle. Milutinovic won it. And Mumford plucked it off the head of Popovic. And gets us going again, Ayo.
He's put in a shift tonight, this fella.
Will back himself here against Milutinovic as well, and that's why skips past the central defender as if he's not there. 3 to aim for in the box. Second bite of it, Milutinovic redeems himself somewhat.
Yeah, no end product. He'd done so well to get himself into a good position, and then really there was a nothingness in his end product. Oh,
Pickens only found Jack Green, and he's managed to win it back for himself. Dario from the right wing shapes the cross, Southam away. There's a chance for Kite, I think that is right the way over there.
Yeah.
In the far corner. Angus Bailey is back on, not exactly running freely in front of us. He's going to be in the action here, perhaps. Ogawa, Popovic.
One-on-one.
Loves these positions. That's good defending by Moyle.
Terrific. Must have played for Bill Connor.
4 minutes and a bit to go. Hope you weren't planning on an early night, Steve, because we might be in for the long haul.
Well, I know my mother-in-law will be in bed.
Whitehead's throw all the way from West Wyong.
Wylong.
Not even the whole of Wylong. Robertson, where's he going? He's been brought down by Southam, who's going to see yellow. The substitute. And they've gone early with it. Dario just swinging into the danger area. Flores wasn't far away.
No, and Io was on his heels.
Well, no matter what happens between now and the end of this match tonight, Gungahlin United could look back on this one and think maybe this is where our season was kick-started.
Yeah, perhaps.
Because this is a different looking performance to what they've given over the last few weeks.
And certainly from the first half, they're a lot more positive. They've made Cooma Tigers look like they're the team that's lacking a little bit of form.
Nikos Kalfas is ready, and they will make the change with a minute to go. And who will it be?
Is that Bailey on the far side?
I think it's Angus Bailey limping off, isn't it? The sub for the sub. Not good news for Angus Bailey.
No.
Nikos Kalfas and would join the action. A match winner.
Yeah, dangerous player. Dangerous player. You know what's going to happen with it. He's going to want a lot of touches when he gets the ball at his feet. He's going to want to take people on. He's going to want to get shots away. So Gungahlin shouldn't be surprised by anything he does.
Do not give him a sight of goal.
No.
Because this boy can hit a football. down the years, he has scored some important goals in different colour shirts, it must be said.
Yep.
Several of them, in fact. Tuggeranong United, Monero Panthers,
Tigers,
Croatia.
Yeah, he's had a few starts, hasn't he?
And the Greek forward, the only one he really hasn't played for is Canberra Olympic.
Yeah.
Which you would have thought would have been shooing.
Oh, well, he looked offside. He played for Monero as well, didn't he?
He did, the Panthers, yeah. Started at Tuggeranong with Emilio Kishta when they both came over. That's a free kick, and there's a card coming out here.
That's
a second yellow, and it's a red.
Just what they didn't need.
Bailey Dickinson. And they will play the whole of 90 minutes, extra time here.
If it
with
gets
10 men, if it gets that far. I was just about to say exactly that, Steve, because this free kick in stoppage time, near enough, when the 90th minute ticking over now, we've seen these go in cup matches.
Nice touch as he was coming off, because Michael Southam and Bailey Dickinson got on really well when they were both at Belconnen, and he just sort of consoled the young boy when he was coming off.
I mean, it wasn't malicious, it's just a second yellow card, isn't it?
Well, it was after the final warning as well that he got in the first half.
Can Tigers rub salt into the wounds against the 10 men? Nick Taneski lets it go. Shandon Whitehead deflects it into the wall. Southam. Ogawa.
Well,
now the momentum tips in favour of the Tigers again.
And really it's Gungahlin will be, let's just get to extra time and penalties now.
McGregor going to force his way past Moyle, who stands up well. And clearance is completed by a tired Daddario. Just swung a boot at it to get rid of it.
Another Gungahlin player that's put in a hell of a shift though. Charlie Daddario.
A lot of them have. How much have they got left in the tank is the question. Stretch from Daddario. First time to see Kalfas in possession. We're into the stoppage time now. Whatever Josh Iser and his team will add on. Steinacker on the overlap. Touch was heavy. Riley Brown came in.
Did really well. Read it superbly.
Flores. Brown. Ao. Direct runner. That's what they want right now. Just run it away from goal from Dennis Ao.
Get it up the other side. Get it up.
Southam wins it back with a little bit of help from Pitkin. Whitehead. Popovic. Milutinovic. Popovic again. Stretch. From Moyle, I think, from fullback. And the free kick goes Gungalin's way. Do they have a twist in the tail themselves? The 10 men. Jack Green will go forward.
Angus Bailey's just limping around here, around the corner, and he does not look in a good way at all.
Jacob Kite over the free kick. Jack Green's wandered forward. Does Jack Green have a moment of cup magic left in him? Do the Gunners. Kites to lift it into the area. Steinacker with a big leap.
Wasn't a great ball and no pace on it, was it?
Second bite of the cherry, this time from Moyle. Daddario. First touch was good enough to take him forward.
He'd be happy with that.
That was a sore one.
Yeah, he just got a stud on the top of his foot, I think.
From Shandon Whitehead.
But that will be just rolling around a little bit and eat up a bit of time as well.
Do they have someone who can launch it? Moyle has it in his hands. Jack Green's positioned himself at the top of the box there, halfway inside the half. No one near him at the moment. That's where it's gone from Moyle. Green can't get past Ogawa. Now the break is on. 4v3. Oh, a tired ball from Tomohiro Ogawa. And Popovic shoves over Brown. That was a tired pass, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the ball into Jack Green sort of asked him to do a lot, and he looked a little bit leggy himself, but Ogawa on the break should have done much better. 2.5
minutes of stoppage time gone. Aidan Mumford thinks they can win this. A line of 6 Gunners players to hit. It's a flat one towards Robertson. It's come off Southam. Daddario will get there. hoiked in the air by Pitkin. Corner kick, is it?
It is now.
It is.
I'll tell you what, for 10 men, they've done well. Put them under pressure for the last few minutes.
And a chance to perhaps win it. Gungahlin United with a set piece.
I'm surprised Kite's taken him. I mean, he's a big lad. You think you'd get him in on the box or in front of the keeper somewhere.
Well, he will take it. And he'll lift it towards the far post where Jack Green's a target and he wins it. Couldn't squeeze it past Pitkin. Riley Brown with a swing of the boots.
Not the best clearance.
Burns beaten to it by Kalfas.
Fullback.
Yeah, Moore's played Popovic on here, hasn't he? Popovic has got 3 to hit in the middle. Ogawa's 1, Teneski's another, McGregor's a 3rd. Popovic picking his way through. Moyle away. Steinacker comes for Kalfas. Can he fashion a shooting chance? McGregor will bust a gut to get there, but can't.
Good defending from 10 men.
Josh Isa will send this one, Steve Forshaw, into extra time. And we will go for another half an hour. And
yeah.
Steve Forshaw, I don't think either of us expected this when we got here this afternoon.
No, but certainly on Gungahlin second half performance is warranted. There is no doubt about it that they came out in the second half maybe thinking it's now or never. We've got to do something positive, and they did. And they got a well-deserved equaliser. They've got a tough half an hour in front of them now against a strong Tigers team with 10 men. You know, this is where the Dickinson send-off might hurt them most. But the last few minutes of the game, they show that even with 10 men, they can cause problems. So maybe they can see it through to the last 5 or 10 minutes of extra time and then really push on. They can get a winner themselves.
An Aidan Mumford own goal gave Tigers the lead in the first half. Luca Flores flashed Gungahlin level and broke their goal drought in the second. Bailey Dickinson subsequently been sent off. The 10-men of Gunners will face an uphill battle, but they're in this cup tie. This Hahn Australia Cup qualifying quarter-final from the national capital. Full-time as extra time looms is Gunners 1, Tigers 1. Welcome back to Gungahlin Enclosed. Bailey Dickinson is right below us, leaning on
the wrong
side of the railings because Gungahlin United, there he is, number 13, are down to 10 men. I'm Russ Gibbs. Steve Forshaw is with me. Steve, that might be the telling moment in the competition.
Well, it certainly gives Tigers the advantage. It's difficult, and this is a sort of cliche saying from football that it's difficult to play against 10 men, and Gungahlin showed certainly since the send-off that they're able to compete. Whether they can do that for an extended period of time remains to be seen. This, I think, will probably be defend first, catch them on the counter if we can, but let's get to penalties at least.
And then with Aidan Mumford, they have every chance.
Well, it's a lottery, isn't it? If you can get that far. From a Tigers point of view, it'll be just the opposite. We've got 11 men. We've got to take advantage of the fact that we've got an extra player. Can we move the ball quickly? Can we get it into good areas? And then can we put them away? So you're going to get two contrasting styles, I imagine, in the period of extra time.
There's fresher legs on the Gungahlin bench. They have 3 to pick from. Jaden Rippon, Fabian Oliveras, Deakin Palombi, all youngsters, but they have 3 there. Samson Carr's the only outfield sub left for the Tigers should they need him. That might have something to play in the next half an hour. Wednesday night football.
At its best.
Extra time in the cup. Queanbeyan City sitting at home awaiting their opponents. Flores couldn't squeeze it through. Whitehead. Often in extra time, Steve, we see a early goal, don't we?
Yeah, and that's when you start thinking, why couldn't you do that inside the 90?
It often happens.
It does.
Kalfas
Shot coming.
looking to slide it through for Ogwa. Comes all the way from McGregor. Kalfas again. Well, if there's a favouritism meter, and if you were a betting man, and we all saw in the election the way the swingometer goes, it's heavily, I think, in the orange at the moment because of the extra player.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be. Got to be favouring Tigers at this stage, but Gungahlin have shown some resilience, so I'm not writing them off.
We've seen 10 men win cup ties in the past. Very famously back in the Manchester United treble year of '99 in extra time, when Ryan Giggs came up with something rather special against Arsenal.
Yeah, that's when the goalkeeper sat down, right?
Just dribbled past a lot of them. And they were down to 10 men after Roy Keane had got himself sent off for a second yellow card. And, you know, that's only one example. There's plenty of them. 10 players have often come to the fore. Can Gungahlin United do it? Taneski. Daddario sticks a leg out. Hamish Moyle can find Daddario.
He has worked so hard.
I thought you were going to say he's worked his socks off, but you can literally see it.
He's worked the sock down.
Picking. Kalfas. Well won back by Flores. Kite.
Different player second half.
Here's Kite off on a barnstormer. Southam steps in. McGregor. Ogawa. So many good players on this park from both teams. Which one of them will be the one that makes a difference? AO with a shove in the back of McGregor, who's asking for a yellow card. Wants to be a bit careful because he'll get one himself for asking.
I'm not sure it was a yellow card offence. I mean, it's a foul, no doubt.
Southam, Milutinovic will make their way into the penalty area, as will Noah Steinacker. Nick Taneski tasked with delivering the quality.
A lot riding on the experienced head of Munford. They need him to be at the top of his game.
Taneski to take. Swung in towards Steinacker. That's a good take from the goalkeeper.
Just what they needed.
He can distribute nicely as well. It's some kick, isn't it? And it's causing Taneski problems. That's well defended. Here's a chance for Kites. Ayo in the middle. Flores in there as well. Kite to swing it in. Good looking ball. And that's going to cause a problem for Lejeune.
I thought he dropped it.
Me, so did I for a moment. Optical illusion. The
Good
white
break.
gloves on the white ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly the tactics that I think they should be using. You defend as much as you can, as much as you have to, and then on the counter, really go for it.
Gives me a chance to thank our Australia Cup sponsors again. Allstate Towing, Electro Tinj, Deakin Club, Kitro Excavations, Rhythm Snowsports, Canberra PC Repair, LJ Hooker and Xela Constructions. Bit of a bonus read in extra time. First half of extra time, of which we played 4 minutes. Not 11 as it says on the board over there. Well, it's counting down now, isn't it? It was counting up a moment ago.
Yeah, it was.
Steinacker. Just slide it down the channel for McGregor.
His movement tonight has been excellent.
Oglewood's going to try and keep this in. It's a tough ask. Well, the crowd has enjoyed it. Extra time's probably good for the vans that are around as well.
Yeah. If they've still got, they're still serving.
Well, there's plenty of fried chicken down there, Steve. I thought you might get a half price batch on the way home.
You never know. Got to go out that way. Second half, it's been a really good game. First half was a bit flat, but the second half has been a good watch. this guy's come to life.
Flores. Confidence a goal brings, and then he gives it away to Ogawa.
Yeah.
Passing's horrible.
Never rated him.
Kalfas. Allowed to come in field. Pitkin. Stabbed ball towards Ogawa. Nonchalant flick towards Popovic.
Gee, they're not exactly racing to get in the penalty area, though, are they?
And Popovic can't get past young Moyle. Flores will chase. He'll have to do an awful lot on his own. Gungahlin United are going to make a change.
Yeah,
5 minutes into extra time.
There's a lot of inexperience on this bench, and it may well be that sort of breaks the camel's back. But Palombi has been around for a little while now. He's done well with the 23s. He's had some first-grade experience, so I think he'll come on and do a job for him.
Dennis Ao has run himself into the ground tonight.
He has. He's put in a hell of a shift.
Deacon Palombi asked to go out there and do the same.
And he may be tasked with a man-to-man job on Taneski.
Yeah, a little bit of a shuffle in terms of personnel there, isn't there? With Palombi coming into midfield. Now Popovic and Kalfas will chase. Jack Green is calm. Munford usually is as well. Nodded on by Moyle.
Daddario again. He's very, very close to man of the match. Giancarlo.
He's won a few challenges as well, and to be fair to him, he's picked himself up every single time.
Yep.
Just got on with it. He's winning fouls, he's relieving pressure, and that's all his team want with 10 men at the moment. So they can play at the other end. Riley Brown gives it away. Shandon Whitehead, Angus Pitkin. Foot in by Brown. Palombi's first involvement is a positive ball.
That's a foul.
Surely that's a shirt pull. Palombi for Daddario. They won't keep it in play. And Lukas Flores, they wanted the free kick,
yeah.
and I could see why. I think he's trying to play an advantage that wasn't there.
It's a bit unfortunate from a Gungahlin point of view. I mean, they're down to 10 men. The advantage is no longer an advantage.
It's right about then. Deacon Palombi probably should have just shunted it into the stand and gone, okay, we'll take the free kick. You can see why the ref wanted to play advantage for them. Damned if you do, damned if you don't sometimes, aren't you?
Sure.
That's a free kick. Archie McGregor is going to get himself a yellow card.
Yeah, so let's give the ref the benefit of the doubt. If he was trying to play the advantage, you've got to give them credit for that.
I mean, if the ball's better and Daddario gets a shot away and scores, everyone's like, what a great advantage.
Of course. But, you're in injury time, extra time, you're down to 10 men. Fatigue's part of the
I want a free kick from there as well.
Yeah.
If you're Lukas Flores, you're thinking, I fancy this. Anyway, that's a moot point. It's been and gone. And we are 8 minutes into the first half of extra time. No real chances as yet. Might be one now, though. Daddario. Robertson, who's still up there. That lofted ball is going to land on the roof of the net. Lejeune had it covered all the way.
Yeah. No danger there.
You wanted some net facts. Well, I can give you some net facts because I know these goals are owned by Gungahlin United Football Club themselves. They purchased them because the goals here were broken behind the goal. They keep them locked up at the venue.
The goals or the nets?
The goals themselves. The actual goals and nets belong to Gungahlin United Football Club. They've been proactive in getting their own posts. So there you go. You wanted a net fact, you've got one.
This will sleep easier tonight.
Absolutely. Everyone at home will as well now. They're like, oh, thank goodness. We've learned about the Clearwater's derby. We've learned about Gungahlin's nets. It's just an education, isn't it?
It is something that you don't get anywhere else in the world.
My daughter subscribes to Nat Geo Kids magazine. I'll look at some more facts on animals. We'll bring them into the commentary next week.
Russell Attenborough.
Yeah. Riley Brown in his natural habitat of central midfield.
Very good.
Swung into the middle. Milutinovic away. Whitehead. Space for Taneski. Only Kalfas ahead at the moment, though. Popovic. Angus Pitkin, time to pick a pass, and it's left it a bit short for Steinacker. Fortunate to get there.
He was.
Green steps in and away from Kalfas, only for a second. Good recovery from Nikos Kalfas. That's a nice pass as well.
Yeah, good football.
McGregor.
There was a tiredness about Jack Green's interception then, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think he looked up and saw about 75 metres to go and went, nah.
No, not doing that without wheels.
Milutinovic is allowed to drive forward here.
No, it's not. Oh, he is.
Offside. Against Whitehead on the overlap. And time continues to trickle away. 5 minutes left of the first period of extra time. Penalty shootout. I'm not sure. I can't remember us having a penalty shootout in a cup aside from the very first game between West Canberra Wanderers and Western Molonglo, which ended 3 apiece and went to penalties in the preliminary round. I don't think we've had one since then. I can't recall one.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't remember there being one. And I've seen a lot of them.
I can remember Bill Connor being involved in the penalty shootout at Hawker, but I don't think it was a cup game.
That would have been this year.
No, this is.
No, I was talking about this year, just the one we've had this year. I don't think we've
right,
had. Just this season. Just the one game that's gone to penalties this year, which is unusual for cup ties. This one might not go that far. Dario momentarily opened up for him, but couldn't get his legs sorted. Kalfas, McGregor. Well one back by Burns, but he might have left it short. McGregor's taken over. Taneski. Popovic, an intelligent run to take him away and open it up for Taneski. And now it's with Popovic.
Back post.
McGregor and Kalfas await. Popovic went for goal, couldn't get the power to get it past Robertson. Whitehead finds Pitkin. Ogawa. Southam. Tigers beginning to dominate possession, beginning to use the extra player. McGregor, Jack Green, imperious. No one ahead of him though. He's looking for a free kick, isn't he? Just to try and relieve the pressure. Flores likewise, but it's coming straight back.
Yeah, he's tired, Jack Green.
Jack Green, in the early stages of the game, is taking that forward and driving at the heart.
Absolutely. He's turning Tigers around, but he hasn't got the legs at the moment.
Steinacker got lucky off of Kites and then finds Kalfas. Burns to stick to the task. Oh, lovely from Kalfas. Steinacker tried to let back, there was no one there. But every loose ball is won by a Tiger shirt because there's just so many of them.
Well, they've got so many in and around their own penalty now. Gungahlin, they're just defending very, very deep. And
Kalfas in, great looking ball. Popovic threw himself at it. Didn't get a clean enough contact. The Dario just hacks it down the field.
Yeah, it's just going to keep coming back, I'm afraid. They're going to have to stay really strong at the back.
Ogawa, Pitkin. Space out wide for Whitehead.
I must say that Tigers might just be helping them a little bit.
McGregor comes off Robertson.
Because the movement in front of the ball is just very ordinary at the moment. It may well be fatigue is playing a part for both teams.
But it's predictable, the movement, isn't it? And that's helping Gungahlin, as you say. Can't help them if they put a decent ball in here, though. Nick Taneski with it.
Again, Mumford, over to you, son.
Ogawa, the drop of the shoulder, the delivery, and just hammered up the park again. Burns with it this time. I think he finds Pitkin. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that the goalkeeper, Lejeune, can step up there. They can have more players forward and create that extra man.
Well, it's to attack against defence drill at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kalfas.
So you've got 3 or 4 players that are really not involved, and I think that's just making it too hard.
Comes for Riley Brown. Dario, that's better. Kite. Dario's made the run forward. Burns, bit of ball for Gungahlin as we approach the final minute of the first half of extra time. Burns again. Couldn't find Flores.
No, but it was decent football.
Gave themselves a glimmer of time to reorganise as well and catch the breath more than anything, I think. Pitkin for Tigers as they seek to break down this pink wall. Well, they're not going to do it with a pass like that.
You've got 6 or 7 players still behind the ball. I'm not sure why they're not committing more men forward. Maybe the frightened of the counter.
Southam wins the header. Whitehead, plenty to pick. Kalfas is where he's gone. Burns got there first. Lovely from Kites to spin away from one and to step inside Pitkin and almost release Flores. It's going to rebound for Kite anyway.
Nearly. I mean, he wins that. D'Addario's in, isn't he?
I was going to say, this is a very important challenge from Shannon Whitehead at the end of the first half of extra time, in which, well, the Tigers have absolutely dominated it, Steve, but we still go in at 1 apiece. And this Tigers team, it's Jekyll and Hyde, isn't it? 1 week, they're unbelievable and unstoppable. And the next week, they just don't seem to be able to click.
Yeah, they go from chocolate sauce to vanilla, don't they, really quickly? And, you know, let's give a bit of credit to Gungahlin here. Their resilience in that first 15 minutes of extra time has been spot on. They've tactically got it right. They're looking to play on the counter. They don't have a choice as far as that's concerned. The players themselves have worked themselves into a lather. They're actually been first class in terms of their application and their effort.
Have they got the legs, Steve, for another 15 minutes of that to send us to penalties and give themselves a chance? Have they got the legs to create maybe the one opportunity that win it for them?
I think through Kite and Flores they might have. I mean, the last 15 minutes is going to be hard for all of them. And I worry about the young players on the bench. If they've got to use those young players on the bench, it may just affect their ability to stay strong and stay resilient. But Tigers need to sort of up it a bit.
Ali Effie's talking to Josh Iser here. I think he's getting clarification over the substitution situation. Can he bring Samson Carr on for another substitution? I think he's made his three blocks. I think he's got one more.
Well,
might be right in. I think he does, because he took Popovic on at half time, correct?
Popovic.
Sorry, who came on at half time?
Popovic,
and then he made changes with Bailey, Southam, and Kalfas, which is his 3 in normal. And in extra time, you get an extra one, correct?
Bailey came on and off, though.
Yeah.
So you get an extra one in extra time, definitely.
And that would be Samson Carr.
Well, he hasn't got any other field players to put on, has he?
Well, he doesn't, no. I mean, you can't put Gabe Tarazi on up top.
No.
Only because he hasn't got a goalkeeper, an outfield jersey. Otherwise, you could.
Well, you could do, yeah, that's right.
If he's got an outfield jersey.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Well, Gary Memitage famously wore an outfield jersey in a cup tie for Monera and scored. An absolute scorcher. So he's looking after the goalkeepers union, unlike Adam Stevens, who was giving Aidan Mumford an own goal.
In this particular, Tigers really need to lift their game a little bit in terms of being a little bit cleverer in the final third. It's all too predictable. The movement in front of the ball is almost static. It's straight line. There's no interchange of players. The ball, when it goes wide, is slow. The ball speed is slow. So they really need to sort of lift their game a little bit.
15 minutes to do so. Will Javier Roca throw on Jaden Rippon and Fabian Oliveres at some stage for the legs? Does he dare do it if he needs to take off some of his penalty takers to do so? It's such a question.
Yeah, it's the consideration now is if my top 5 penalty takers are on the pitch now, they've got to stay on.
And the same situation for those in orange. Maybe some of their penalty takers are already off. Anyway, 15 minutes to find a winner and make all that moot. Shannon Whitehead, Michael Southam, there's still plenty of talent to find a way through.
But, you know, they've got to break down this low block, and at the moment...
Jack Green steps in. Yeah, they're not doing so, are they?
No.
Need to find a way. They've tried the aerial routes. They've tried down the channels. What's next? That ball for Kalfas might be the one. And just shoved over Nikita Burns. It will be a free kick, I think, advantage played.
Advantage played, I think. But the boy did well. He made it really difficult for Kalfas to get on the end of it, and Mumford did the rest.
Well won by Steinacker.
That'll suit Gungahlin. They won't mind the ball being able to play.
It's been a great effort from Gunners.
I think it's commendable, absolutely commendable.
Considering their form when they came into this one, they hadn't scored for 4 matches.
and then went goal behind.
400 plus minutes. Goal behind.
Own goal. Well, we think it was an own goal.
Yeah.
Then you go, you get an equaliser.
You go down to 10,
and you go down to 10, yeah.
And whilst they've been defending resolutely for the last, 25 minutes or so, if not longer, you wouldn't exactly say they're hanging on at the moment. Here's Popovic, here's Ogwa, it's opened up, but the flag goes up. They're not exactly hanging on, are they, Steve? It's not as if Tigers are throwing a huge amount of shots at Mumford's goal. And
well, you tell me the last time he had to make a decent save.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I'd say they've defended well in front of him. The little few things have gone their way.
It'll be the one from Popovic where he beats it out and they hit the post with McGregor. That was the last real opportunity, I think. Good win by Daddario. Southam. Brown. Daddario. And you can tell the magic of the cup is in the air because nobody's going home on a school night. As the clock ticks over to what are we over? Nearly about 10 to 9.
No, everybody's hanging on.
Including me and you.
I think we'll be here. If this goes to penalty, we'll be well after 9:30 by the time it's over.
I mean, we could go before penalties.
We could watch it on TV.
Yeah, we could do. Josh can commentate at the same time as doing the film.
Can we not do it by Zoom?
I've often had this conversation before, Steve. If I could do it via Zoom, we'd be on a beach somewhere with a cocktail in hand.
Absolutely.
If anyone wants to make that happen and sponsor us for eternity, then
suddenly the phones went quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to jump on board.
Ain't gonna happen.
1-1. 4 minutes into the second period of extra time.
4-4-1 from a Gungahlin point of view, which is standard operating procedure, I suppose, for a team down to 10.
Well, they can win it from here on penalties, which seems their most likely route. If they threw it at it, they could easily lose it, couldn't they?
I think they're content now to hang on. I think
they'll take their one chance if they get it, of course.
They'll still try and get something on the counter-attack, but they're not, I don't think, emphasising getting forward in numbers.
Because a lot of those legs are very tired.
And you might get forward, but you ain't getting back.
You won't be committing too many forwards. Flores. McGregor. Popovic. Ogawa.
He's looked more like himself, hasn't he, in the last sort of half an hour or so?
Popovic. Oh dear. Got it all wrong.
Got the Bronx gear.
Well, the Ultra's making a bit of noise.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of belief amongst the Gungahlin faithful that I would say it will be a shock if they turn this one on. Not many would have predicted this.
Oh, I think it's...
and that's it's funny to say when you're talking about the league champions.
Yeah, it is, but the form didn't warrant favouritism, did it?
No. But tonight, different team, as you so astutely mentioned. Flores, space to deliver. Kites in there, didn't come for Daddario. Comes off Palombi. Has it again, Deakin Palombi. Burns back for Flores. Palombi. And Riley Brown.
This is wonderful, wonderful play from the Gunners team.
Robertson. Angled ball for Flores.
Let's defend now. They've done as much as they could possibly do. They really kept possession well and let Tigers know that they've got enough football in them that if they do relax for a minute, they might be able to punish them.
Whitehead. Pitkin. McGregor. Strong runner. Bounces off Moyle, who goes in with a challenge. Shouts for a spot kick from those in orange. Referee gives a corner.
I mean, that would have to be the softest penalty ever given if it was, but...
The shouts were half-hearted.
They were.
And minimal.
And Moyle did extremely well. Let's give the boy credit.
Foot on the ball to win the corner. Taneski to take again.
And this is where they've got to stay strong. They've got to make first contact here. Attack the ball, get it away from their penalty area.
Can Taneski find the right delivery? It's a good one in there and turned in by McGregor. He leapt highest in the box. And the Tigers lead in extra time. And you can see what it means to them. It was as straightforward as it comes in the end. And Archie McGregor puts Tigers ahead.
Probably not unsurprising that it's come from a set play, because there was a lack of guile in Tigers' play. The ball in from Taneski is wonderful. The header from McGregor is first class. And Gungahlin, who sort of toiled away so manfully, find himself on the wrong end of the scoreline, 2-1. And the set piece, when it doesn't matter whether you've got 10 men or 11, you should really be able to defend it, and they haven't been able to. And maybe that's just fatigue. Now they've got to change everything they do.
Nobody picked up the run of McGregor.
Nobody.
Who just rose and nodded it home.
And to me, that's...
and here goes Popovic. Across comes Green.
You know, that's to me just a little bit lack of organisation, probably as a result of players being too tired to actually do what they're supposed to do.
It will make Javier Rocker and his team cross, though, that they would go behind to such a straightforward goal.
Yeah.
Cross from Taneski was excellent. Positioning and finish from McGregor was first class, because that's all he needed to do was be in there and knock it on target. Not a chance for Aidan Mumford from that range.
No, I mean, I think it's gone straight over him, but it was going so quickly that he had no time at all to react.
Nick Popovic is down with cramp.
Surely not. They come on at half time.
He's struggling a little bit with his workload, which is why he didn't start. But it's been brave from Gungahlin. Angus Pickens stretching out in the background as well. Archie McGregor down here. He's running on adrenaline a bit more than everybody else, so he perhaps pulled a muscle leaping that high in the air to celebrate his goal.
Mumford looked crestfallen at the other end.
They've worked so hard, haven't they? And that's the hard thing for them to take.
Yeah, but in the end, they went down to 10 men through their own fault. So let's not take too much away from Tigers, who probably haven't been as clever in the final third as you would expect them to be. We sort of saw signs of that against Majura, even though they won the game comfortably. They weren't, you know, they didn't get those combinations in the final third that actually make the difference. And it's been the same tonight. And the winner has come from a corner.
You do not need to play fluent, cohesive, excellent football to win a cup. You've just got to win a game.
That's right.
And sometimes you have to dig in against opposition. That's what they've done today, Tigers. They're still not home and hosed yet, though. They've still got 5.5 minutes to see out.
They're favourites now, though.
Robertson's playing as a centre forward.
Well, why not? You might as well. I mean, if they can get a set piece, they might as well send Mumford forward as well.
They will fight to the end. They may as well ship another if they go looking for one, but that's life, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think
Green wins the challenge. Oh, well, Milutinovic, that's a bit cynical. He's going to see yellow for that as well.
Yeah. And this is the chance. You know what I think I might do here? Is get Mumford to take this.
Maybe throw everybody into the box.
Yeah.
That's the 4th yellow card for Tigers. We've got to be careful a little bit. I'm not sure how their cup yellow cards were stacking up before tonight. I don't think there was many, to be honest, if any. Mumford is going to come and take it. That's why you were a coach of the highest order, Steve Wardlaw. Mumford will take.
But there's not much point in him staying there at the back. Goalkeeper's here. Get in the box.
Can Mumford find the right delivery? He's clipped it towards the far post. Southam's climbed up to win it. Flores is battling to win. Free kick goes Gungalin's way. Shooting opportunity. 4 minutes to play. Raising the noise levels, raising the temperature somewhat.
Can they? Against all odds, can they just snatch this dramatic equaliser? And it will be a dramatic equaliser.
We saw something similar the other week at Canberra, free kick territory. Jacob Kites over this. He's been tasked with it. The way it's set up, this is a shot.
I think
can't be anything but. Yeah.
But they'll be piling in for a rebound, that's for sure.
Lejeune sets the wall in which there are 5 orange shirts. Jacob Kites over the free kick for the Gunners. It's a good one as well.
Had him worried.
It's just a bit too high.
Yeah.
Struck it firmly, didn't he, with the pace?
Yeah, he wasn't going to die wondering, that's for sure. But in the end, didn't trouble the goalkeeper at all. It had him scrambling across his goal, but not on target.
I think there would have been a moment where Lejeune would have been worried.
Yeah, well, he certainly...
McGregor to chase after this one. Jack Green comes across to clear up. Samson Carr is getting ready to join us. Maybe a case of what we have, we hold for Tigers, depending on what the change might be here.
It'll certainly be a forward off, I would have thought.
Steinecker thought he won the throw, but it's gone the other way.
They're pushing everybody back. Gungahlin have got 3 or 4 players still close to the halfway line. You might as well get forward and lose by another one.
McGregor lamps it down the park. Munford's under pressure. It's not a bad ball in the end towards Robertson. Milutinovic high.
Got to get a second.
McGregor does. And Jack Green
ball
finds Palombi.
He's clever football, Jack Green.
Burns. Flores coming deep to lend his support. Palombi. 2 minutes left. Is there going to be a chance for Gungahlin? Green. It's patience. Burns wide. Kite was the target. Steinecker sends it a mile away. We're looking for a football.
I'm not sure the linesman's entitled to play ball, boy, is he?
No. Samson Carr is going to get the tail end of this one.
It looks like Taneski. It's coming off.
Limping off on that far side. Wonder how much of an effect this is going to have for Tigers for the weekend, for Canberra, Croatia, in terms of where they're going to be.
Well, of the 2 teams, Canberra, Croatia will be the happiest, that's for sure. But Taneski tried to limp off towards this direction and was smartly turned around by the referee. He doesn't look to be limping as much now.
60 seconds between Tigers and a place in the semi-final. Queanbeyan City await.
Yeah, Jack Green's got to be in the box. Jack Green has got to be in the penalty.
And he's furthest back.
Yeah.
That's swung into the box. It's going to come out for a hit from Flores on the turn.
Corner.
And Daddario tried to turn it in. And here comes Mumford. He scored in the Charity Shield. And it was disallowed, Hayden Mumford, for offside. He's going to throw his considerable presence into the mix. Jack Green's up there too. Gunners with one final chance, perhaps.
It was just, he set the ball up wrong in the corner.
Corner wasn't good enough from Daddario. Popovic will chase here. Mumford is stayed up. He's on the wing on the other side. Now he's got to get back. Oggerwood's got the whole goal to aim at. McGregor has. Kalfas can run it in here, surely, to send Tigers to the semi-finals. Nikos Kalfas into the empty nets. And the Tigers will go through. And Gunners' brave resistance is finally and irrevocably broken.
And forgivably as well, because they had to go for it. Mumford had gone forward, didn't get back, and on the break, it was just a simple task of finishing from Kalfas, and he did so with some dexterity. So, you know, the 10 men have battled away well. It's the 10 men that has cost them in the end. If it stayed at 11-11, they may still have lost. It might have gone to penalties and they'd lost anyway, but going down to 10 men has been really costly. But full credit to Tigers, because they battled away in a performance that hasn't really sort of hit the heights from their point of view, but they've managed to see the game.
There was always the danger chasing it that they would ship a third.
Yeah, I mean, the 2-1 or 3-1 doesn't make any difference, does it?
Nikos Kalfas took it calmly and adroitly, as you would expect a player of his quality.
Yeah, it was a lovely finish with the outside of his foot into the empty net. And once he struck it, it never looked like missing.
Gunners still pushing. Riley Brown. Robertson fires it across.
Yeah, a bit unlucky.
They played their part to the full tonight.
Yeah, they have. Certainly the second half. The second half, they looked more like the old Gungahlin.
And something to build on for the weekend.
Maybe. I mean, you don't know how it's going to affect them handball.
I'll go with handball, yeah. Easy one for the referee.
Yeah. You don't know. I mean, they put a lot of effort into this, and there may well be a little bit of kickback when they play on the weekend. They've got a tough game. If they have turned a corner, then good luck to them. I'm not convinced yet that this is enough. Although they've looked more like themselves, as I said.
They battled, they fought, and they were gallant. But in the end, it was the quality on the opposite side, Steve Forshaw, that did for them.
Yeah, look, they can take some positives out of this, definitely. They tactically got it right early in the second half. They stayed in the game in the first half. It was an own goal that sent them, put them behind, but they got a very good equaliser. And at the start of the second half, they looked as if they might go on and perhaps win the game. The turning point in this match was the sending off of Bailey Dickinson. After that, it was an uphill battle, but didn't they show some fight, Gungahlin? Tigers have done enough to get them through to the semi-final, and they'll be looking forward to picking up a final berth if they can beat Queanbeyan. So good second half, good period of extra time, very enjoyable watch. Congratulations to the Tigers who have done enough to get through.
Is it technically an all-New South Wales semi-final? Well, potentially. Queanbeyan versus Tigers FC, depending on where you think Tigers are based these days.
That's it.
Steve Forshaw, thanks very much for your company tonight. Thanks for Josh on the camera work. Great work again, mate. And thanks to everybody up in Brisbane for the production of this Cup quarter-final in which Tigers FC have progressed. They took the lead in the first half through Aidan Mumford's own goal. Luka Flores lashed home the equaliser for Gunners. The game went to extra time. Bailey Dickinson sending off just prior the turning point. Goals from Archie McGregor. And then Nikos Kalfas into the empty net as Gunners went searching the unlikeliest of equalisers. Means it's Tigers who progress to the last four. Final score here at Gungahlin Enclosed. Gungahlin United 1, Tigers 3.